This episode of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by our generous patrons. Special thanks to our supreme and master speakers, Omejicat Comet, Erisu Yamakawa, Circuit Barrakill, Remy Asalia, Arcadia Lunashine, Alex Franco AV, Winebow Brood, Psyche, Asuta Starbreeze, Cletus Oreo, Nina Grimstadter, Nat Clay, Lily Black, Bob Cece, Mikta Rapentau, Sapa Chakwatol, Edwin, Umbral Wind, Quick Levin, Pamela Isley, Camille Grinoa, Lenriel Maximus, Codrith Novelist, Mira Miri, Bay Barbalay, Suno Chicano, Celestao Notrell, Lazy Boy, Abaga Dragonite, Luke Osborne, Pandaloo Stormarrow, Tex, Yowie Wowie, Kai Lin, AJ Brainswordson, Anathos Moonscar, Arthur Law, Beridan Derard, and Cypup. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/speakersxiv. Thank you.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, Eorzeans. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon, episode 278. I'm Lakeel Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Mela Vanadar, Georgi Wiston, and Rollo Dez. Do I ever say it in the same order and ever? Because it always feels
Usually
like
last.
yeah,
Usually last.
yeah. Okay. Anyways, welcome.
You normally switch between Mela and I.
Okay, yeah. So welcome, 278. It is a spoiler cast, and I'll just, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna put it up. I know we've already had a scary intro with that on, but I'm not gonna be told in the comments that I didn't give them enough warning. All right, there you go. It's on screen now.
Gotta wait for the bonk.
There we go.
There we go.
This is also, because it is a spoiler cast, it means that after this episode airs, the spoiler ban is lifted all over our Discord. So if you have not done the MSQ yet, you might want to just mute the whole server, because general spoilers are now allowed in all channels. So, though you will not hear this, will you? Because this is a spoiler cast and you shouldn't be watching this. It's already been posted in general and pinned.
Oh, it's in general? Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, this is episode 278. It is December 18th. Can you believe it? It's almost Christmas. 2021.
How are you doing with the, oh, God, what's that song? Last Christmas Challenge so far.
What do you mean?
Last Christmas by Wham?
Yeah.
I've not heard it once.
I haven't heard it at all.
It's the George Michael challenge. You have to go through December as long as you can without going into like a store or any place or whatever without hearing Last Christmas by
I've
George.
not heard it
Going
yet,
to
so that's fine.
stores?
I
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Whamageddon. That's what it's called. Whamageddon.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. I have not heard that song yet, so I'm
Yeah.
still
So
in it.
you're. Yeah, I'm still going strong.
Yes, it is a spoiler cast, which means we're going to start talking about Endwalker, and this is not an XL episode. However, we will probably eat off some of the post-show's time. There is a post-show after this, which will answer questions from the Syndicate. However, you might be asking, how are you going to have time to do all this? Well, I'll let you know right now. Tomorrow is part 2 of this spoiler cast. So that is at 7 p.m. Central European time, which is regular stream time for Sunday Funday. So 2 hours before this usually airs. It starts earlier. The reason we are doing that is because this is the last Saturday, that Speakers will air in 2021. We will not air next week because that's literally Christmas. That's Christmas Day, the 25th. So we have to go on break for that day, which means we will be back on the 1st of January 2022. So tomorrow is part 2 of this episode. Okay, that's it. We have some other news as well, so we'll jump into that. Let's time recent events. Oh, it's gonna do that every time, isn't it?
One more time for good measure. Why not?
All right, let's just be extra sure, I guess. There it is.
There are spoilers.
There are spoilers even here. We'll start with something we talked about last week, which was the incoming reviews for Shadowbringers. There was no consensus yet on the review side or the critic review side. There is now. Congratulations, universal acclaim!
Whoa!
We did it. We have 90 on Metascore for critic reviews and 9.5 user score, which is quite wild considering that was when this screenshot was taken. That might have changed a little bit, but considering the issues with the servers, I'm surprised it was that high when this was like.
That's tied with Shadowbringer, right?
Yes.
Shadowbringers?
Yes.
That was a 90.
That's the initial 5 critic reviews. So more reviews are coming. But yeah, that's very, very, very nice.
They're definitely going to trickle in because this is an expansion.
Yes. So congratulations, pat on the back to the dev team. However, there is still problems, and we're going to struggle with this problem for a long time until they are able to actually get new hardware. But we have some updates about the Congestion. I'm sure you all have heard that Endwalker is no longer for sale. So let's read.
Stop playing our game.
Please stop.
Please.
I love the memes of like people. You know how we had that word art meme with like universally acclaimed free trial shit. They just add please forget please unhear. It's very funny. Yeah,
I don't think it's related, but I think it's very funny that all the Square Enix games went on sale too. So you can just
yeah. So Endwalker, no longer for sale. Let's read this post by Yoshi P on the Lodestone. This was on December 15th. Hello, this is Naoki Yoshida, producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV. We apologize for the ongoing congestion that has been occurring since early access and the official launch of Endwalker. It's been nearly 2 weeks since the start of early access, and players are still experiencing substantial congestion when logging into the game. As we have new content set to release in the upcoming patches, I'd like to provide you with several updates on our plans to address these issues. So the first thing, additional game time compensation. We are aware that the long waiting times to log into the game are preventing players from playing, and for this, we sincerely apologize. In response to this, we recently granted 7 days of game time, but now we will be also granting an additional 14 days. This will apply... So that's those initial 7 days plus 14. So you're essentially getting... We've gotten 3 weeks of free game time. So that's pretty good. Yeah. This will apply to all players, including those with multiple accounts, who own the full version of the game and have an active subscription as of Tuesday, December 21st at 12 a.m. PST, which is the scheduled release date for patch 6.01. Further details regarding eligibility will be announced separately. So, I like that. There's no question about it. They're just giving us new free game time. Very good. They're giving us more even than technically is I would expect. Do you know what I mean? Like the game's been out for 2 weeks. They're giving us 3. So, it's cool. This is the big one. Suspending delivery of package versions and temporary suspension of digital version sales. Players are currently experiencing extremely long wait times due to the dense concentration of play hours, which far exceed our server capacity, especially during the peak times. And so we have decided to temporarily suspend the sale and delivery of Final Fantasy XIV Starter Edition and Complete Edition. Additionally, although those with an active subscription are prioritized to log in, free trial players are unable to log in outside of late night and early morning hours. And so we will also temporarily suspend new registrations for the free trial. These temporary suspensions will be faced in the next few days as we work with our retail partners. We will be coordinating with them as swiftly as possible, but please bear in mind that this will be a gradual process. We will also be suspending all new advertisements. However, it will not be possible to suspend some of the advertisements due to the nature of how they were set up. We appreciate your patience and understanding regarding this matter. Expansion pack.
I imagine that some of those examples of ones that cannot be suspended would be the murals that they painted in Melbourne and Sydney in Australia.
Chuck paint on them.
Wow, look, this game looks so cool. Let me go buy it. Oh no.
I love that they're like panicking. They're like, "Oh my god, we've advertised too much. There's too many ads." And yeah, so now they're trying to stop all that. Expansion packs and collector's edition digital upgrades will continue to be available for existing players, so that may upgrade as needed. That makes sense. I mean, if you already have access to the game, you should be able to upgrade and stuff. To those who have been invited by their friends and family who have been considering joining, as well as our retail partners, we sincerely apologize for any inconvenience this may cause and ask for your understanding and cooperation in order to reduce congestion. We will continue to monitor the situation as we consider the timing around resuming sales. So there you go. This brings back that memory of A Realm Reborn, which this is essentially what happened then as well, where they had to suspend sales because people were just hammering the servers and they didn't work. The only problem this time is that in A Realm Reborn, when this happened, they're like, oh shit, our servers are like not good enough. Get more. They can't do that this time. They're like, oh shit, our servers are shit. Oh. Uh-oh. So I don't know how long this is going to last for. I mean, it'll...
I mean, I think this might just be a call to action where I think every Final Fantasy XIV player has to raid your local crypto mine and just smash everything. Just absolutely destroy all the property you can.
I don't think that's necessarily going to solve the issue.
No, because
Wouldn't
at
you
that
want to
point,
steal them?
Yeah, I think you would steal them. Because otherwise,
works best.
Otherwise, what they do, they'd be like, "Oh, someone was just fucking trashed our place. We need to buy more. We need to buy new hardware." And now there's just more demand. Square Enix is just like, "Oh, yeah." So we'll see how this goes. This is very interesting. Interesting times. Okay, is this the funny part? Yeah. Okay. So even more fun. Yes. So already I'm like getting nostalgic because I'm like, oh god, this is just like the A Realm Reborn launch.
Nostalgia for downtime.
It's weird. Nostalgia works in weird ways, Rollo. Okay. Error 2002 while waiting in login queues. Our favorite number, 2002. In regards to Error 2002 that occurs during login queues outside of causes related to unstable connections, we have confirmed a bug. This bug was part of a login-related program created back in Final Fantasy XIV version 1.0. And thanks to the reports and tests carried out by many of our players, we were able to identify the cause of the problem. We apologize for not being able to identify the issue on our end, and thank you all for submitting detailed reports regarding this matter. Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker Tanaka's Revenge. It is very...
escape it. This was supposed to shed all the baggage and close it all up from 1.0.
Yeah.
And yet here we are.
Yeah, it's strange. It's so weird because you'd think there is hardly anything left at this point. Like 1.0 surely must just be like this little echo of a code that just sometimes like rears its ugly head. But no, it's still part of like vital login functions in the game. That's baffling. to me, because 1.0's login system was pretty bad. So here we go. I mean, there it is again. Another one.
It was working until Endwalker.
That's
so why
true.
would they change it?
I'll give it that. Yeah. Although the code for fixing this bug is already prepared, applying the fix will require patching the game client, which will be addressed in patch 6.01, scheduled for Tuesday, December 21st. As this issue occurs while waiting in the queue for a very long time, we considered releasing the patch ahead of schedule, but in the end decided to include it in patch 6.01, as there is already a lot of new code in the pipeline for the patch, and interrupting the process of verifying them may lead to other bugs. We apologize for the inconvenience and ask for your patience a bit longer. So, there was a question that a lot of people were started to worry about the raids. Here is Yoshi P's response on that. Due to the high levels of congestions, we are aware that there have been a lot of discussion in the community about the release of Pandemonium. Oh no. Asphodelos Savage in patch 6.05, scheduled for Tuesday, January 4th, 2022. Regarding this, as long as there are no major issues, we plan to release the patch as scheduled. We understand that there are concerns about world first races and first week progression, but patch 6.05 will add a number of new elements, such as the addition of a new elegant tomestones, new crafting recipes, as well as new treasure hunt, the new treasure hunt dungeon, the Excitatron 6000. Many players are looking forward to content aside from high-end duties, and furthermore, considering the balance of the rewards and item levels from said content, we cannot withhold only Pandemonium as... what was it?
Asphodelos.
Asphodel.
It's like asphodel, you know, the Greek underworld. It's named
Doesn't
after a
help me. I
flower
need to
that
think
grows
about
there.
ass.
Okay.
Asphodelos. And rebalancing these would delay the patch release by several weeks and would affect patch 6.1 and beyond. We regret to say this in the midst of major congestion, but as mentioned earlier, unless there are major issues, we plan to release the patch as scheduled. We ask for your understanding and cooperation regarding this matter. So
that's quite fair though, because if they had to delay Savage, people would be able to gear up a lot quicker. They'd be able to get tome gear, so it'd make it easier. So it kind of ruin the world first anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd already part of the world first race is predicting the new crafting recipes to try and get your team geared up.
Yeah, that's true.
So it would kind of ruin that as well. So that's fair.
Yeah. Sorry, it's just how it is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
May the best login win.
Also, Yoshi P goes on to talk about, in depth about how hard it is to get new hardware. They will provide a roadmap by the end, some sort of roadmap by the end of January 2022. So we'll have more information then. He also says we are considering adding servers to each region, especially plans for large-scale addition in North America and Europe, and we'll be looking at the number of servers, infrastructure, construction time, power issues, and server rack situation to see if we should do this sequentially or in one big push. Either way, the plan is to introduce a large number of additions, which we intend to carry out quickly and safely with as minimal inconvenience to our players as possible, and we will follow up regarding this matter as we progress.
Just repurpose the Australian data center, to be fair. Just take those servers and ship them
yeah,
where they're needed.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't
Like
think
that.
that's
Yeah. I
Just
really
route them through Australia so that Europeans and Americans have to play with Australian ping.
Yeah, Europe needs
Europe needs the most. It's
yeah.
unrealistic. Like, America has a pretty good number. Japan should have a lot less, and Europe should have a lot more.
Yeah.
It's
I
crazy.
imagine it's easier for them to obtain servers in Japan than it is in the rest of the world as a
guess.
Japanese company.
Especially in the early days.
They have
They must have-
European branches, though. They will be able to. I don't know.
That's true.
We're making it sound easier than it is. From what we can tell, it's quite difficult. All right, so there's this last part, which I thought was very, very ominous and kind of scary sounding. So I'll read this. Inquiries about errors triggered by specific payments. Since the release of Endwalker, we have received a large number of inquiries from players who have been unable to play the game due to errors which occur during payment or code registration. After reviewing the details of these inquiries, we found that the accounts involved are being accessed from the same environment as those used by a group of people who are believed to be providing suspicious services. As a result, these accounts were determined to be using suspicious services that temporarily access user accounts to log in and make payments or create accounts on their behalf, and were blocked from payment and code registrations as part of fraud prevention. Such
Oh my.
suspicious services may have a history of theft or other fraudulent credit card activity, and we cannot do anything other than safeguard against such activity and cannot restore those accounts. As a reminder, we ask you to refrain from using such suspicious services for your own good. We will continue to strive to provide our utmost support so that everyone around the world can play comfortably. We sincerely apologize for the inconveniences caused by the ongoing severe congestion. We appreciate your understanding and cooperation. Yeah, they don't do that. Your account's gonna disappear they will never restore your account. It is the end if they figure out that you've been cheating.
Using suspicious services.
I'll do the
Don't
suspicious services.
Don't use
That simple.
the suspicious services. All right. Oh, that's recent events. That means it's time for the spoiler cast. We need that's something I should note for the next season. We need something to take us into the main story. Some sort of jingle.
Note it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll note it. I'll make a note.
Because if you don't note it now, you're never going to remember.
You're not even writing it down. You're gonna forget. Look at this guy. He's
I
gonna
don't
forget.
have a
You
pen
long
and I
enough.
don't have paper, and I don't. You're making. Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, here we go.
Someone DM him. Or
There's
something. No, he never
there's
reads them.
I have some paper. Intro. This pen doesn't work.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
So,
This is all going wrong.
anyways, I'll
Just use the cream from the herrings.
That's a reference that no one gets, but all right. Use the cream from the herrings. All right, let's. Here we go. Endwalker SPOILERCAST. Boom.
Oh.
Okay. Whew. Okay, so we're gonna try to not just sit here and read the MSQ. We're gonna follow the MSQ. That's gonna be the thread, and then we will discuss the stuff that areas, the music, quests, mechanics, etc., etc. We obviously have to start with the introduction to the game, to Endwalker. I mean, technically, we have to talk about the boat cutscene.
Yeah. Fine with it.
So we set off to Charlian. They try to set up. They do a lot of death flagging, like a lot of be worried flags throughout the entire MSQ. And I felt it quite a lot before we left. Like even at the moment before we left Limsa, there's this. Oh, you take care now, and we everyone gets a couple of minutes of just talking, monologuing. I'm like, oh god, this.
They're just saying goodbye. That's all.
Yeah. And we're leaving Tatara behind. She's like, oh, don't die. But the boat cutscene that follows is literally the 1.0 opening cutscene if you started in Limsa Lominsa, which was where I started. So very strange callback, but also cool. But it's like a callback for a select few, I would say.
Yeah.
Because it's not
just
it's
1.0
not only-
players.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's 1.0 players that started in Limsa Lominsa, so approximately a third of 1.0 players.
Yeah.
It still triggered for me though, because I remember watching videos of people playing 1.0, and I guess by chance they started in Limsa. So
Yeah.
I've seen that before, and I was like, oh yeah, where's Leviathan?
I think
When's he gonna pop up?
I
Didn't
think
happen.
I think maybe Limsa was the top choice, because remember in 1.0 you just picked a random city state.
You
It wasn't
could- yeah, you
based on
could
your
be any-
class. And usually it's always like people who don't know, they usually pick the first one, like the first option. Limsa might have been the top one. Maybe that's why they went for it. Like that's the one most 1.0 players started with. Don't know. Chronicles of a Realm. You'll find the
Yeah,
opening
what's that?
cutscene there.
Were they not wearing all like 1.0 clothes?
They
too, or
were.
something?
Yeah.
It was really weird because I'm like, this characters don't look like this anymore.
It had all like the weird angle shots and the music and everything.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
pretty much a 1-for-1 copy.
Boy,
Yeah.
it
Up
sure is
until we
1.0
got
in
out.
here.
Yeah. Until you walk. Well, I realized that the similarities kind of stop when you see the stairs, because in 1.0 there was like mist coming down the stairs. But I of course go engine limitations ? But okay, we'll get back to that. So we walk up and there she is.
She's
It's
just
the
chilling.
lady in light or whatever she was
Well,
called.
she's
Lady.
immediately named as Heidelin
Yeah.
when she speaks.
Mm-hmm.
The music in that scene is
It was pretty bopping, yeah.
very good. It was like it was answers in like piano, right?
Mm.
Very
I love
wild.
that one of the first things you can say to her is, "I'd no longer trust your words."
Yes,
That's
yes,
fair,
mean,
though. We've
rightfully
had, like, 3
so.
expansions of not hearing
Yeah.
from her.
yeah,
Did you
And we were
trust her,
trying-
or did you?
I
Did you
trusted
Yeah,
not
her.
I
trust
trusted her.
I trusted her.
yeah.
I didn't trust her.
Oh.
I just want to pick something different.
Rollo is
Yeah,
that's
that's
true. That's
fair.
fair. That's good. You did it for speakers. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
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 Not because he's naturally contrary.
Well, sometimes I did that too because I'm like, I can see what everyone's picking. Like when we're going to talk about it, I don't know if it's in this part, but when we're going to talk about who we
I
invited to your
couldn't live
room,
with myself.
I knew that most people are going to pick Graha, so I'm like, I'm just not going to pick Graha. Whatever I
picked
do,
Graha.
don't pick Graha.
Mhm.
So so Old Charlian, yeah,
We
we
arrive
don't,
at Charlian.
Heidelin doesn't really say well.
She
ki-
gives a bit of a forewarning sort of thing. It's
Yeah.
called back to later, but it's
Yeah.
kind of whatever at the moment.
Yeah,
It's just like, oh, there she is.
yeah. So then we arrive.
We never see her like this again, do we?
Well, we do,
Yes,
sort
we
of,
do.
but not really.
No, oh yeah, you're right. We don't actually see her like that. You're right. Yeah, because the next time is Kryl, isn't it?
Yeah. it's
Next time is
trial.
Kryl. Both next times is Kryl, and then after that we just see Vinar,
Yeah.
which we will get to later.
True. Yeah. Okay, so arriving in Charlian, we've sort of already seen the city before. We've kind of given a review of the city in the spoiler-free first impressions review. Well, now that we're in here, now that we're 2 weeks in, how do you feel about Charlian now? Old Charlian.
Doesn't have enough aetherite.
You brought that up when we did the spoiler-free one, and I wasn't quite there. I am there now. I agree. There aren't enough.
You only need to be in the center for a lot of it, but the fact that you spawn far away from the leave people is more annoying than being close to
Yeah.
the like market board. I'd rather the aetherite be more south. I'd rather spawn near the
Still-
leaves.
Yeah.
It's really close though compared to most other cities. Like it's closer than the Crystarium, which
Oh, yeah.
still has an aetherite there, but it's still like a little bit of a hike to get
Yeah.
to some of the stuff.
That's true. That's true.
I definitely see it as the new AFK city. I've definitely
Oh,
noticed
for
people
sure.
just kind of a little bit less people in Limsa, a little bit more people in Old Charlie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's good though. It's overall good.
It's also like most new city states that are introduced. It looks like people live there. Like I was amazed going if you go to like the easternmost side, I think you can see houses continuing down. You can't access it, but it looks like you can, but you just can't because it's blocked off. I like that.
Journey's End.
Yeah. Journey's End. Yeah. Music, of course, very good. I don't think I've grown
Music's
tired
good.
of that music yet.
Not yet. There's nothing about it that's like immediately alarming in the same way that some other
No.
locations have.
No. No.
Like-
I hated the Yulmore one after a while.
Yeah.
Just like the first TP there, the I'm like, no,
Yes.
I don't want
You
to
just
be
teleported into the circus. Yeah. Anything that stood out in the city itself, like that's worth mentioning? I don't.
Yes.
Yeah. Go on, Rollo.
They explained the fountain.
There you go. That was what I was
They
gonna say.
explained
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I
There's
was doing.
there's a side quest that explains the fountain.
There's a side
It's-
quest that explains the fountain, and that's, I mean,
It's just crystals. It's just crystals. It's just magic
but
crystals.
that's because of the video, isn't it? That's 100%.
I would like to think it is.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I liked the indoor bits. I liked the studium especially. I thought it just,
Mhm.
I don't know, it made me want to be there because it was just,
Study.
Yeah.
it just, I don't know, it ticked a box for me.
I yeah.
And like the NPCs there, and the in the quest line, there are all the forum members. There's the guy who sticks up for Alice and Alphino. He's like
Yeah.
friends with Louis or whatever. I can't remember his name because they're all French. But
Yeah, they are all French.
he's probably my favorite person in all of Charlian. He was great.
Okay, question. When he held up, this is way further into the story, but I just have to do this. When he held up that paper, could you read all of it for the first time you read it?
Yes.
Welcome
so,
to
yeah.
Did you really? I read, "Welcome to the Throvlunium." I'm like, what the fuck
Yeah,
is
it was
this?
it
It
was
says
Welcome to the
studium. I know that, but
Yeah.
I had to
Oh yeah.
figure that
Yeah.
out.
That last word did take me a little bit because the rest was a bit more obvious. But yeah.
Yeah.
And that whole cutscene where he does the magic and talks about the 3-point styles of ether or whatever.
Yeah.
I loved that. That
Yeah.
was great.
Like I was back in school again.
Yeah.
Yeah, his name is Monteshan.
Montchan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good one.
Hey,
Lots of mentions of Louis Soir in this whole MSQ, which I like. I
Other
have
than that, though,
have to talk about the room in the Baldessian Annex and the posters on the wall. Because that is
yeah, some of
probably the
them were old
moment where
1.0 references and stuff.
my brain just stopped working for a little bit. They had the artwork for Zonde's tomb on the wall.
Yes,
I'm like, what?
which implies that
Is
they've
this canon
studied
still?
it.
It's,
Yeah.
it looks like a teenager's bedroom in Final Fantasy 14's world.
Yeah.
If they have access to like major posters of cool things.
That would have been my room.
Lore-wise.
It has my favorite artwork, which is West Shroud on the wall, and I'm like, it was wild.
It's like a cool Ifrit, but like there's some
Yeah,
dude
well-
who was like, yeah, you know what was cool? Ifrit. Like,
Yeah.
put this on as a poster.
Because
Well,
the
lore-wise, it is.
the lore-wise it is.
Saved,
The
like, the
Ifrit
students' room.
the Ifrit poster was the first tell because that's where you go in first. You go into the in room first, and there's like an Ifrit poster and some. I don't remember what the other one is. I'm like, ooh, interesting. I remember that artwork from like fucking 1.0, and I'm like, oh, interesting. Go into the big room, and I'm like, the original Crystal Tower design is in there. There's Garuda's early concept art is in there. Lots of crazy stuff in there. The Eureka Cube is there.
The Everyone is Here expansion. Everyone was here. Even 1.0 concept art.
And I'm sorry to pull it down, but there is this massive map that's relatively high quality, but then they put those fucking low-res post-it notes on top of it.
What do you mean? You couldn't read them, Luke?
It doesn't look good.
You couldn't read them? I had no problem.
And then they're like, oh, we have this kind of high-res map on the wall. Let's zoom in on that map a little bit to look at all of the pixels. I mean, it's better than...
I hate it when they do that, though, because that implies
shameless. Yeah.
the canon world map has clouds on it for no reason.
Yeah.
About
Oh,
it.
that's
You know
true.
what Elsabad looks like. Someone must.
They don't. Yeah.
It don't.
Well, no one...
I-
Yeah, well, the lore-wise, isn't the map made by an Eorzean? We've been
Yes,
through
it
this
is.
before.
Yes, it is.
It's hard for them to get in there, and well, they can now. Maybe later
Well,
we'll get
I hope
one.
it gets improved soon.
Yeah.
I don't want to hang up on Charlene too much, but we need to talk about the new quest styles, the accompaniment, which was good, and it's probably my favorite of the multiple styles they've added. But it was used so much.
It's a new thing. It's like swimming, or like you gotta swim everywhere. You gotta dive everywhere.
You gotta escort everyone.
But now, at this point in time, you can't dive anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't think you can
That's
dive anywhere in Endwalker, actually.
You can't. I
No,
tried
you can.
diving
There's
into the Wildway
Thavner.
of Regret.
There's Thavner. Yeah.
You
Thavner
dive
is
in
the only
Thavner?
location.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Oh,
dive in
the,
Thavner. You can dive in the ocean, and you can dive in that
That dirty
It's part of its
pool.
MSQ.
that pool.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
the only time the MSQ requires you to dive.
Yeah.
The
Just to save a dead body.
the escort.
Oh yes, that's right. You can. I remember.
Yeah, the escort quests, which is what you're referring to, Mela. With is that what you mean?
I mean the accompany ones where they come with you and it has the blue circles for lore and the
Yeah,
other
yeah, yeah.
circles for progression. They were the first ones introduced when you took I don't remember.
Graha
who,
and Kryl.
Yeah, yeah.
Gonna,
I quite like those ones because of the additional lore you can hunt.
That's true. There's just this. They get a gimmick, and then they're like, "Yeah, that's what we're gonna do with quests now."
Yeah.
Most
Way
quests
too
are
many.
gonna
Yeah.
be like this.
It's just, you know, it's like role playing. First time you do with Alfino, then they just keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's true. I feel like it's something that's. It's gonna be like Fates in a while, though. If they keep like you doing this, it's gonna be like, "Oh, look at this feature that we made. You're gonna love it."
And you know what? I do love it. I like walking around with my little friends.
I do like that. When it's
I love
when
it,
it's
but you can
our
get too far
people
from them.
in the MSQ, that's good. If it's like, you know, the MSQ,
Scions.
but I don't care about like random person that I need to fetch, help fetch like a fucking, I don't know.
You don't
an
like
animal.
the anxiety Matanga? Come on.
No.
Francia's different.
Right, selling fish.
yeah.
That's going to be a good conversation.
Oh God, yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, that's also another gimmick. We'll talk about that when we get to.
So
Thavner.
you
Existed
get
before now.
Mm.
essentially we have a home base and we can now pick between Thavner and Labyrinth.
Yeah, they split
it's
the
like
MSQ.
Shadowbringers
Yeah.
and Stormblood
Yeah.
and Heavensward.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you go first? There's a correct order to do it
We
in.
know what Rollo. What did you pick?
Where did you
Oh,
go first, Roy?
I went to Labyrinthos first, and then
That's
I went
Good.
That's fine. That's the correct.
That's the correct
Thank
decision.
God we all
I did it because I knew the
correctly.
dungeon was going to be in Thavner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I go
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
And plus, the crazy thing happens in Thavner. So.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So we story-wise, why are we split up? What's happening? Just so we have our heading here. We are
Following leads. You're going Labyrinthos to.
we're investigating
we're
the
trying-
forum members.
The
in
Gleaners.
Labyrinthos. And the Gleaners, yeah, they have the boats.
I have to
and they're
pick.
doing-
There is a cutscene where we sit with Alize,
Alizé.
and we can see the Gleaners using the coming in with the boats. The helmsman, the person at the rudder, is the same in every boat.
Cool.
Yeah,
He's
it's
got
the
a-
same
He's
hand.
got some. It's some twins,
Hey.
some brothers.
Triplets.
Maybe it's like, you know how in Italy you need to be specifically trained, and you can only hand down like being a gondola rider to certain people. Maybe in Old Charlian, you're only allowed to lead these boats if you are from this one family.
Yeah. Well, they've
Yeah.
investigated Alacon cloning technology.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, they did the exact same animation. I'm going to do this a lot. I'm going to point this out a lot because I am always hyper focused on engine when they do good with the engine and when they do bad. Okay. Anyways, that was that. Let's move on. Yeah, Labyrinthos. Boom. There it is. Music.
Pretty good.
I don't like.
I didn't mind it. I know that some people don't like it. I liked it more than I expected to like it. I thought it would be more annoying.
I am not usually someone who gets too into the zone music. So I was happy with most zones in this expansion.
Zone music for me is good when it's like, oh, this is pleasant, and then I kind of just don't mind it going on in the background, like it's just happening, you know? But with Labyrinthos, it's kind of like meow 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 meow, and I'm like, ugh, here we
I
go.
just
Like
wonder
every
why
time it
has
loops
the-
again, I'm like, oh, here we go.
Why is it like a little toy winding? Like I don't get it. Like I don't get the connection.
Because it's like a toy version of the world, Rollo. It's not real.
Right? Yeah.
Plus, they use a lot of mammoths.
I do like the little
That's
like
true.
fiddle part you know, in there.
I think it's okay. It's not the best.
It's a little
obviously,
chaotic, which
Hmm.
which puts me off a little bit.
But Charlene
it's not
is
bad
in
in
chaos right now.
True, that's
No,
true.
it's
Well,
not really.
not really.
It's,
no.
Well, it is behind
presenting
closed
a
doors.
unified front.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but this is where all the action's happening for the forum.
Yeah. So first impressions, I immediately realized, oh god, there are lifts, and we are definitely not going to access a lot of this at first.
Yeah.
So we're gonna come back a couple of times here, but trolls.
Oh yeah.
I don't even want to talk about the MSQ before we just address the trolls.
Such perfect little creatures. What? How are we so blessed?
Little.
Like every
trolls.
expansion has like, you know, an iconic minion that they kind of use like a poster
Yeah.
child kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's trolls, this one, and they fucking nailed it.
yeah, yeah. Heavensward had
Their
the
little pants.
Paisa. Stormblood had
Namazu.
yeah, Namazu, I guess.
Yeah.
Shadowbringers had.
Shadowbringers had Serpent of Ranka.
Oh yeah,
and,
of course.
yeah,
and, and I guess Beavers, sort of, too.
And the beavers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
guess
then we've
beaver.
got
Yeah. And now we have
Troll baby
trolls.
boys.
How
There's.
did the beavers get to our shard?
Don't think about it.
Look, the beavers are probably the plot point for 7.0 onwards.
Yeah. The trolls
They are
are
cosmic horror.
the trolls are perfect beings, and
Yeah.
I
I would die for them.
don't think I've ever killed. Mela said he immediately.
That was the first thing
killed
I killed in
something.
the entire game.
Well, that's the first thing I killed as well, because that was the first thing I got a hunt mark for.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just sort of
same.
wanted to test the waters with, because I was like, oh yeah, stat squish and stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see how I do in combat, and it was fine.
I don't know how much we're gonna like. We're not gonna talk about like side quests a lot, but only if they're relevant. There is a side quest involving a troll, which is very cute.
Shuggles or whatever.
Shuggles.
Shuggles.
Yeah. If you haven't
I
done that, you should do
I only
it.
did the first part for the
Yeah, I
ether
only did the
current. I need
unlock.
to finish it.
Oh, it's really good. You should do it.
I'll
I
come
know
to
it-
clear.
I
it also
is.
it also later links up with another quest. So there's yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, worth doing.
Mhm.
Do them on a DPS.
Yeah. I have.
This is
Oh,
where we first meet.
yeah. Go on.
Oh, what were you going to say first?
I've cleared most quests.
Yeah,
in
you're
the
you're
zones.
being a good boy this
Because
year.
I don't want to be
Well,
the guy
it's
with all the
because
quests.
he won't do them if he doesn't do them now.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right.
Mhm.
Anyways, go
So
on.
this is
Yuri.
where we first meet Erinville. What did you think of Erinville?
I really liked him.
Yeah.
I loved his
Oh.
voice.
What a nice young man.
Makes
He's
me
so
feel at
handsome.
home. Yeah.
A lice young man.
Yeah,
Nice
he's a
young man.
lice.
He might have lice. I don't know. Maybe a lice problem in this place.
I hope he doesn't.
No.
I'd give him a little head pat.
Yeah.
He's probably my favorite Vieira that we've pretty much been introduced to.
Yeah.
We don't get many,
No.
but he's a good boy. He's a good boy.
Mm-hmm.
We better put him in more stuff in the future. Put him in
Yeah.
the pack.
He's gonna be a custom deliveries NPC.
Shut
Oh, for
up!
I'm
I'm gonna beat you up.
That's for sure.
Even worse, Rolly. He's going to become a gleaner
He's
for
the-
Zloey.
He's the Kaishir of the expansion.
No,
Yeah.
Kaisir sucked, so that was okay.
There's gonna be so many naked Erinvilles.
No.
Okay, so yeah, we're sort of starting to build up this idea that you figured this. At least most people should have figured out very early on that they're preparing for something bad.
Something gonna happen. Oh
yeah.
no, they're packing lots of stuff.
Isn't this also where Erinville has this theory about
Going
Mericidia?
to Mericidia, yeah. He
Yeah.
thinks
Yeah,
they're going to do a mass exodus south.
Yeah,
It's not the first time that the Charlians have done that.
true. Yeah, we learn about like Njumkrep, he's brought back up in the earlier part of
Yeah.
the
So
story.
yeah,
He started
Levair,
Charlian.
Yeah,
the Levair family can be traced back to Njumkrep's crew.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Can't fucking believe they're bourgeoisie shits. The entire Livier family.
Can I also
I
say?
Everything.
I know we're
You
done.
really can't believe that.
I know we're done with Old Charlian, but the Levier estate, very big Just like that's
Oh,
if I-
empty too.
yeah, very big and empty.
Very empty, yeah.
Yeah, there's weird.
I wanted to see their rooms. It would be fun
Yeah.
to see Alize and Alphina's
Did
rooms.
you think?
Remember,
You know what? We're
like,
100%
Hawk
gonna get
Manor?
access. Yeah, Hawk Manor.
And like you could fit like 18 beds in one room in Hawk Manor. It's
True.
even worse than that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we're gonna at some point get access to their rooms, like to see what the rooms
Oh,
look
I
like.
want to
I'm
read
sure.
their diaries.
Yeah.
No,
Alphina's little.
don't be
That's-
weird.
Why do you have to go to one of the creepiest things you could have done?
read their diary.
What have you been writing about, Alfie?
Yeah. Oh, Yurgi has frozen.
Oh, no.
Oh, there you go.
go.
Okay, so the forum is holding something back. There's something spooky.
There's MI5 in. They've got like this super cool government building.
Yeah.
With all the super secret spies live.
Mm-hmm. So we're introduced actually to like a very annoying way of reaching the second level, which is
I hated this.
yeah, you have to go through this like cave thing to get.
What's wrong
to
with the cave?
Well, and then you go down. And you're
There's
like,
nothing-
I can tune to a crystal. No, you can't.
No.
No, you can't.
Fool.
Yeah.
There is no crystal
Good.
for you. Only triangle grapes.
Ah, the crystal grapes.
Good luck trying to do fates in that little section where you can. First off, you don't have the mount speed yet, so you're fucking slow as shit. Oh, let me go do the fate at the bottom part. Oh, I have to go through the clay. Oh, it's already done. Let me get
Oh,
the top. Let me
you
top.
won't let-
Yeah.
I can't.
You won't let me use the elevator. Oh.
I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you. You should if you're like 81, 82, I think you should just go straight to Garlemald anyway, because
Yeah.
they're split between like level 88 and 81 fates. It's a bad system for them. Same with Davna.
So, just quick touch on the grapes. I know it's a meme, but remember when I played this, I had no idea what was happening. This was literally on launch day when I got in here, and we have that recorded. Literally, the first thing I see as I enter that area is to immediately go to the grapes and go, "Whoa, shit! These are some shitty looking grapes." But yeah.
And then the MSQ zooms in on them.
Yes. Yes.
You know what? I'm gonna be totally honest. I didn't even pay attention to I didn't know until someone pointed it out. The only thing that distracted me, and I think that Lukiel talked to me about too, is the mannequins in the background.
Well,
The
yes.
stiffest people that might as well just be T-posing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just in the background.
That's first really comes up at the Ilsavad contingent.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but that's a big one.
I noticed the grapes, but I never noticed them. But
Yeah, we'll get to it.
I like the grapes.
I think it's funny.
I
I
think
hope
it's
people
funny.
don't get too wound up about it. It's just
It's funny.
whatever.
Okay. So yeah, the second part is like where they grow food. The farms and shit. We
I
want
don't like the aggressive sheep.
no. There's what else is? I guess that's all that there is there. But we want to figure out what's happening. So there's God. How do we even turn into toads? Like someone has.
Alizé, not Alizé. Sorry, Y'shtola turns us into.
Oh yeah,
Y'shtola does.
Yeah. We're turned into toads, and then we follow. And was it Alley Toad and
Alfie Toad and Ali Toad.
yeah, Alfie
Alley
Toad.
Toad,
and
That
Alley
was
Toad.
so
Yeah,
funny.
That's quite funny.
This is good.
And we're just immediately found out by like Aaronville knows that it's us. Like
Yeah, because we're just
'cause
two
that's
frogs
his field.
staring at him, doing
Yeah.
nothing.
he knows how they.
Three. But
yeah.
also he does us a favor. He tries to inquire with the forum as to what exactly they're doing, even though he knows we're there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we get a little bit of info.
Yes.
Mhm.
Nice guy. Plus, if you go near that little quest area, you'll see people as frogs running back and forth.
Yeah.
It's very cute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like to wave to them sometimes.
Yeah. Now we're going to move on, but the last thing that happens that is very important in this part of the story in Labyrinthos is the discovery of the Elpis flower, and
Mhm.
Which at
The
the
sec-
time's known as Heart Bloom, I think.
yes, that's what it's called on the source, and Kryl channeling Heidelin for the
Wow,
first
goes
time.
into like a just goes
Yeah.
mad.
Well, yeah, because she's been like
Cry-
kind of weird for like for a little
Yeah,
bit.
the entire time you're in Labyrinthos is a bit weird, and
Yeah.
you know what? It makes sense when you find out what's at the bottom of Labyrinthos later on.
Yes. Well, she explains, the flower. Does she explain the flower
This will
before?
be important.
Yeah.
It's like a mood-changing ring.
Yeah.
Yes.
yes.
Except it's real.
Except it is real.
Wow.
And it is not. It is
mine
not.
all worked.
It is not. It is not fully understood by scholars.
No.
But yeah, we'll get back to that. Obviously.
I love our disrespect, though. Would you go into a botanical garden and start picking the flowers?
Yeah, I know, right?
It's just one. They won't miss
It's
it.
not a
Out of
garden,
three.
Mela. It's like a museum more so than a garden.
Yeah.
That's even worse then.
That's
You don't
worse.
even
You don't
feel
go-
the-
Mine.
Awful.
Yes. So
Hey, Heidelin picks it for us.
Heidelin, that's
Okay,
true.
That's fair.
She kind of owns
I'm sure
this
the
place.
forum. I'm sure the forum would be fine with that if that we told them Heidelin gave it to us.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Madness.
So let's talk a little bit about what Rollo mentioned with the cardboard people. So they try a lot of things with the engine. I feel like sometimes they're trying to be like, see, engine's still good. But sometimes they do that and it kind of proves the opposite. Because in cutscenes where there's a lot of people, and we first see that in the Ilsabard contingent cutscene, we see how many. I'm not going to wait for chat to react or like tell me, but I'm expecting a lot of you have seen it. That a lot of people, when there's a lot of people in the background, they are literally frozen in place. They do not move. Their hair does not move. Their clothes do not move. They are mannequins.
I love it.
Genuinely didn't
They look
notice.
like
And
little
once
porcelain mannequins.
Once you've seen it, it cannot be unseen, and it will always bother you in every cutscene it happens in, and it happens in a lot of them. So
The thing
yeah.
is, it doesn't bother. Like, I think it's funny.
No,
I
it
noticed
doesn't bother
like,
me either.
Like, I noticed it every single time, basically, and
Yeah.
I would look out for it too. Like, oh, look, there it is. But it's like the equivalent of like seeing like prop filmmaking and be like, oh, you can see the zipper on the guy's
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
Like, it's kind of funny. It's not like that bad.
To me,
The thing that I
yeah, go
find
on,
funnier about it is that like you can occasionally they will fill up the background with like just like clones of people, and the funniest is when they put those clones right next to each other.
Yeah, yeah. That also happens. The only thing it kind of pulls me out because it's like a reminder of like, yeah, these are just mannequins. Like, yeah, these.
This is skipping way ahead, but this is sort of related. When you did one of the experts dungeons, the dragon, the Omicron one or whatever, right?
Stigma
Magma
Dreamscape.
Dreamscape, yeah.
No, Mela.
Stigmascape. You notice the props again, but they're dragons, and if you just look at them kind of closely, they're on a track and just wiggling slightly up and down.
I haven't noticed that. Wow.
I haven't seen that.
Definitely look for it. It's super funny.
Yeah.
Again,
I'll keep an eye out.
not distracting. It's just funny to see, like, kind of like almost like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I mean, I will say this though. I mean, as much as I laugh at the cardboard people, they're doing a lot with an engine that has probably been stretched way past its original limit at this point.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I'll
They're doing
give them
what they
that.
can. They're
Yeah.
getting all they can out of it. And you
Yeah.
know what? That's good enough.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it on my first go at any point, and I've seen it now, and it's a bit
It's a bit
weird,
obvious now,
but
isn't it? Like
I don't.
the one
it
that
doesn't-
really
I
sticks
don't
out to me
mind.
is the forum one because I suspected it in the contingent cutscene. I'm like, "Ooh, something's off in the background here. I'm not sure. I'm like, at first I go, wow, lots of people. And then I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I'm like, duplicates maybe? I'm not sure. And then in the forum one, when they make the announcement, because remember they have all these veils and shit.
Yeah.
They're still as like stone, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, that's what it is.
The forum
Well-
one is pretty good though. Like I think they did a really good job.
Yeah, because
of,
what they
like,
do
hiding
is that they
They
weave.
walked on, didn't
It
they?
looks. Yeah, they
Yeah.
do. Yeah, I think what they're doing, why they're frozen, is possibly because they don't want the idle animations to sync up, and then they'll just be moving in like one mass.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
That's true.
So that's
That
possible.
would be really funny.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
speaking of the forum,
Yes.
they catch us in Labyrinthos.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us a slap on
well,
the wrist.
Yeah, they say get the fuck out of here. Get
Well,
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. How dare you? How
Yeah.
dare you learn in this city of learning?
Besmirching the Baldizian name.
Is this where we are brought to the forum? Is this
Yes, it
all in the
is.
same question? Oh, okay. So this is before Thavnir.
Yeah, they were long this time.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
The first bit.
So this is where we the first.
I was
Yeah.
worried that we would have to walk out of like Labyrinthos, but thankfully they teleport us.
Yeah,
to
they
the
do. They
rostra.
do.
Yeah.
Which is the thing they started with in Shadowbringers, which I quite like. Thank you very much. Very nice feature.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we're brought to the forum to the the rostra.
The rostra.
Mhm.
Where they were being yelled at.
We're being pulled off because Graha's been looking at naughty books in the restricted
Yes,
section.
he's
Yeah.
gone to the restricted
Yeah.
section.
We've been asking too many
Well, yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, both that and also Fulshino is like, these aren't students of Baldessian. These are those naughty scions of the Seventh Dawn.
Yeah.
Those middling kids.
Boo.
So what are they called? Forum? I almost called them senators. They're not. They're like forum members.
Four members.
Yeah.
I think
The
four of
Senate.
Yeah, the Senate. They one of them starts to like if you'd seen what we've seen or whatever, and then he just like gets choked up. I'm like, what the fuck? Is there like
Yeah.
a Sith Lord in here? What's happening? He's like Darth Vader.
Yeah, it was Fulshino doing like Sith trick.
Yeah, it's like,
Force
I don't
choking
know
him
if you,
from
if you
across.
look if you look in the background, you can actually see famous Sith Lord Jar Jar Binks
Oh.
taking one of them.
Senator Jar Jar
Senator
Binks to
Binks.
you.
Mr. Binks.
Senator Binks. All right, yes. So yeah, that's where we really start to realize that shit's weird.
There was like
What
a
we-
weird vote thing, isn't there? And we just get out by the cuff of our neck or whatever.
Yes, because
Yeah, what were you?
Louis was friend.
Because of Montishan.
Yeah.
My favorite.
What were you thinking they were hiding at this time?
You know what my theory was always? My theory was always that they knew everything, and I knew I was completely convinced.
But what did you know? What did you think everything was?
Well, I didn't know, obviously, because I mean, they knew everything about the final days. Was my running
Yeah.
theory at the time.
Yeah. I thought they were. I sort of latched on a little bit to the Mericidia.
Oh yeah, you got hung up on
Aaronville
that.
said, so I was like,
Yeah.
I thought they were preparing for an exodus for sure.
Yes.
Of some description.
Yeah.
See, what I was theorizing beforehand was that like Labyrinthos was their bunker, and then they revealed, oh, it's a public location, everyone can go there. Like, oh,
Yeah.
That's definitely what I
hmm.
thought pre-expansion, that it was going to be the
Yeah.
nuclear bunker.
When I first saw it, it looked like a missile silo. Like it has that like circle in the bottom, and it even has these like shield walls, and like
Oh,
there's
yeah, yeah.
doors that can be like shut. So I'm like, okay, this kind of looks like a launch like location, which turns out to be pretty much what it is in the middle. But yeah,
Labyrinthos is very strange because you can explore almost all of it, but it has a few little bits that are out of bounds. But it clearly has an obvious boundary anyway. Why
Yeah.
don't they just include
Yeah.
everything?
yeah.
because it's too big, Vela.
There's
Yeah.
nothing there anyway. It's fine.
There's a couple of things before we go into Thavnir that we need to talk about as well. That's the new unsheath animation, sheath and unsheath animation that only exists in
Only in
cutscenes.
cutscenes. They look so good.
Cutscenes.
They look so
Because it
good.
takes too long.
I know.
Yeah.
Just
That's true.
take that animation and speed it up a little then, because it
The,
looks infinitely better than whatever the fuck we're doing now. Yes.
The site or the Reaper one specifically is real nice. Could do like a little like twirl as you're taking them out.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
I really like it.
Also, this is something that started with Shadowbringers, but I'm really glad that they're just sticking with it, and that is that the MSQ music continues. It's persistent in the zone if you're like in a moment in the story.
Yeah.
Because I hated that in like a Realm Reborn was notorious for this. They would build up this like mood, and then it'd be like. Like you're back to the zone music.
Back in the gold saucer music.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had to turn off Mount BGM again though, because that ruins
I
it.
have never had Mount. I don't think
I've never had it. I haven't had it on for ages.
No.
I turn it back on in case a new mount has some unique music. They never do.
Right.
I turn it on when I get like an extreme mount from a fight I really like, and I'm like, this is neat. Let me fly around his zone for like a minute. All right, turn it back off.
Yeah.
Before we move to Thavnir,
Yes.
we do quickly meet Ameliance as well.
Oh shit!
Oh, I
You're
know.
right.
I actually am in love with her. She's so nice.
She's very nice.
I want to wreck that marriage so badly.
Oh my god. Okay. Yes. Okay.
I want to be a home wrecker.
Okay.
I'm down so bad.
So yeah, she gives
Anyways.
the twins new outfits and gives Alphino his new liths.
Yes.
Who did they belong to? Only bloomin' Fortuner.
Yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
That's right.
He used to be a bad boy. He used to be a sage.
And then he has nothing to defend himself later on, which
Right.
he might have needed.
Yes, true. This is also where we sort of get. I mean, it's obvious that Fortunat doesn't hate his children, but Ameliance is kind of starting to drip that on us. That it isn't.
The second you see Ameliance just like being so friendly and nice, like, all right, there's just something that he'll tell us later.
Right. Yeah.
One thing I didn't like about Ameliance, and I know some people will defend her for this, is that she shoos Alizé and Alphino out of the house before Fortunat comes out.
Yeah.
I would have preferred if she was strong enough to not be afraid of Fortunat seeing her children being in the house.
Well, they have at this point been stripped of the Leveilleur name and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that, but I would have preferred if she had a strong enough
defended
will.
them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess I sort of agree, but
yeah, I don't
she's
think it wasn't. I don't think
a
she was.
lovely lady.
Yeah, she didn't want like him to like.
Yeah, it's for the servants, but
Yeah.
I would have hoped that she
'cause he
had the power
beats
to
them.
defend them as well.
No, he's a horrible master.
Yeah. No.
She wouldn't have like a chance to talk to us one-on-one and ask us all that stuff. I think.
That's true.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's terrified of hearing any of the adventures.
Yes. Yes. Okay,
Adventures.
we need to move because we are spending too much time. Thavnir, this is funny. We talked about this last week, but whenever we did the spoiler-free one, that was last week. Mela and Georgi, I think. Did you have rain, Rollo, when you first got there?
No, it was actually dry.
So Mela and Georgi just got the worst introduction to Thavnir because it was raining and being really shitty. But we are introduced. So when we enter this place, we get ether sickness because we have to use these like this teleport thing where you don't have to attune.
No.
That's so funny.
It's really
as
funny,
long as
and
the
I
teleporters are already connected.
yeah, and you literally get a debuff.
Oh, the major theme of this expansion was essentially undoing like past preconceptions. Like you've got to attune. Oh, we've come up with this technology to not attune. Oh.
Yeah,
It's still new though. To be fair, it's not.
Yeah,
It will
and
technically
doesn't
be
make-
tested still.
We never would have been able to just teleport to the moon because you
True.
need to
No,
have
but-
you need to have the connection already there.
yeah.
There are worse things later on, but that happened a lot.
Yes, that is true.
They did a lot of characterizing Estinian when we were here as well,
Yes,
Yeah, that
to make him a
He
little
is-
bit more relatable.
he is not good with money. Apparently,
He's Alphino 2.0.
yes. There's a funny scene where he's like trying to buy. What is he buying?
Hairband
Oh,
Or
yeah,
the-
also
or
the
the-
hairband.
Lassie and whatever. As
Yeah.
or
well.
the food to help
Lassie,
with
yeah,
the sickness.
yeah, that's what, and they're like, oh yeah, you can get it for like 20,000 gil. And it's like,
Yeah.
20,000 gil.
That seems fair.
That seems a fair price for this product. You're like, no. Yeah, that's funny.
The Aether Thickness thing is super funny as a debuff.
But yeah,
Like,
you can also just sit back
Oh.
and wait at the Aetherite Crystal and look at all the new arrivals coming in with Ether Sickness.
That's funny. It's
You
very
can-
irritating.
you can cheat though. Just get on a mount and then you can't get the debuff.
Oh, really?
Really?
Oh, that's
I didn't
stupid.
know that.
I didn't
It's
know.
only if you sprint, like for a couple seconds, you'll get the debuff.
Oh,
No,
okay.
you can get the debuff even if you're just running normally. You don't have
Oh.
to be sprinting.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
because
you
I
don't-
got it
okay.
constantly. Yeah.
Mm.
All right.
Okay. So, music of Thavnair.
Oh,
How do you feel
dude.
about
Ruff, 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 ruff. I love it. I love
Yeah, I
that
like
one.
it.
that? I like Thavnair's music. It's
That's
very
so
I
good.
like
good.
the Thavnair music.
Yeah.
The night one less so, but that day one, when the weird dog barking bit comes up, I
Yeah.
can't help myself. I love it.
Start barking with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I genuinely do. I
Yeah.
walk around just barking all day.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have the elephants and the
Yeah.
We get a little baby elephant Matsya, and there are a few others. There's Nidana, who's a big character,
yeah.
I don't
and
think
then there's just
Matsuya's
lots
a,
of them.
a baby. I think he's like
He feels
grown old.
he's a little baby boy.
He's just a little baby boy.
He's a wuss.
Okay.
Hey, real quick, because none of us play Al Ra. Oh wait, no, you do,
I
Malin.
do.
Do they say anything to you about being an Al Ra?
No,
Really?
even though
No.
it's very
There's-
important for the Thavnarian law,
Yeah.
Okay.
but no, they don't.
There's a
Interesting.
side quest that talks about it, but I guess it doesn't. They don't. You can't say anything about it as an Al Ra in the MSQ.
No.
Ah, okay. Well, there's a quest where you meet Matsya, which is interesting because it's a This is another gimmick that is introduced in the game where they're like, you cannot abandon this quest, and what you do is essentially what will be it. You can't redo this quest, and you have to sell fish with.
Well,
with
You have to attempt, yeah.
yes.
I sold no fish. Nikhil
Mela
sold
and
no
I
fish.
did not sell any fish.
You didn't sell any.
No.
No, these
First-
two sold no
so-
fish, Rollo.
Oh my
What
god.
happened
you guys are
is, I mean,
terrible
I'm terrible with
fishmongers.
people, Rollo. You know this. So I'm too forward because I'm go
Yeah,
like, yeah,
same.
want to buy some fish? And he's like, ugh.
Because
fuck
I
off.
thought to myself, you don't start a conversation, you just go, buy a fish, buy
Yeah.
a fish.
The second one, I was too polite.
Went into a whole conversation with them, and then they were like, yeah, cool,
Yeah.
walk off.
Yeah. And
Okay,
then
bye.
I
don't
tried
know
to
how I failed the last
combine
one,
them
but-
in the last one, and I think you're supposed to close the sale at the end, but instead I just go on with another conversation about how pleasant life is. And like,
yeah, what
I'm
the
like-
fuck's you're a terrible salesman.
and I'm like, oh, fuck. And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
see ya, bye. I'm like, but the fish.
Oh,
See, Rollo and I both got 2 out of 3 at the very least.
Ah,
Because
yeah,
I did the first one, and I did like, oh, okay, let me be like a fishmonger, like, oh, fish here, fish here.
yeah,
And it's like, then the game's like, don't do that, you weirdo.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
I'm like, oh, okay, so I should actually talk to these people.
yeah.
And then that's how I get the last two.
I was too polite on the second one, but the first and the third ones were the ones that I got.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But anyways,
Matthew was just as happy with us.
yeah, yes, that's
You
true.
tried.
He's like, thank you for trying.
He's happy that you tried.
Yeah.
At least we actually he ate that day for us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He,
Well, we should
he's whatever.
mention that
No.
trade has like completely dried up in Thavnair. Like there's
Because of the tower.
because of
Yeah.
the tower. The tower might be,
Oh,
a
yeah.
minor
Remember
reason
the
for
towers
that.
from
Yeah.
Shadow
Oh yeah.
Princess?
By the
They're
way,
back.
the towers, and it's
Of
very
Garlean
close.
design.
Yes, of Garlean
The
design.
Guardian Towers. There's
Um,
one other character you meet who's slightly important, who's the like leader of a big trade company.
Yes. What was his name?
Yeah, and he's just saying, like, trade's bad, I'm sad.
I think
Bye.
it began with a
Remember.
K. It was something like Kashan or something.
Yeah.
Remember this for later.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
And then you go to the Great
The great
Work,
work.
the great work.
where you find loads of dead people, and they're not really.
Yeah.
just
So they're
asleep.
not dead. They're just like waiting for scales.
That's so
Mhm.
stupid. And then a little boy, Vashan,
Yeah.
comes along.
He gives them
Um,
scales, and then they wake up.
I didn't really think about it at the time, but obviously he has the bright red eyes, but it
Yeah.
kind of makes sense.
Mhm.
But yeah, he's brought dragon scales. They all go crazy. They kind of
then they notice that
harass
Stinian,
Stinian.
Yes.
Yeah, Stinian has dragon blood in him.
Oh,
They
he's-
carry him
He's got the
away.
smell.
Yeah.
What's that smell? It's blood.
He's still
Um,
got that Nidhogg stank on him that he hasn't washed away completely.
so this is where we learn that they're trying to create some sort of warding, like anti-tempering talismans.
Some crazy new, again, more new random technology that just luckily saves the day.
Yes. They've apparently worked on it for a long time, though.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, the this is being introduced now. Is there anything worth mentioning about the great work, like in general, like that area?
What's
No,
the great?
really.
Is that the?
That's where Nidana is, like
Nidana is.
Oh. I
alchemist.
mean, it's cool seeing the alchemist machines. They're fucking huge.
Yeah,
compared
they
to the
are.
little
They are
tiny
very big.
portable ones.
Yeah,
It's a nice place, but like it's a bit of an annoying layout, slightly.
yeah, a
Yeah,
little
it
bit.
is.
Yeah, especially if
Anyway,
you
it's hard.
haven't, if you can't fly. Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, I
Yes.
fell into the. I thought I could fly once
Oh no.
for no reason, and I
Oh,
just
no.
fell into the lake.
Oh,
Oh.
I was like-
no.
I just wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nidana has us chase around a little lantern at some point.
Yes.
What did you think of Nidana?
I think she's slightly too headstrong and a little bit annoying at times, but she has a good heart.
Oh,
so I don't.
Yeah.
I
mind.
like Nidana.
I
I
like
don't mind
her a lot.
Nidana's
I like
personality.
She's
all the
and she's-
elephants. I love.
Yeah, all the elephants are
They're
fine.
all just little baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
She
yeah, her
kind of
voice is very
appeared.
nice.
She was like any possible cutscene she could be in. She was like, "Oh hey, don't forget me."
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so there's this whole thing happening in Thavnir, which we haven't mentioned. That's that people keep getting abducted. Specifically, mostly the elephant kind.
Matanga, the
The Matanga.
Akasortra.
Yeah. So this is like a whole issue is that they shouldn't walk alone like anywhere. So is it during the when does she get kidnapped? Like when
She-
does
When we go test.
She's made a successful talisman.
right? Oh yes.
And
Yes.
we go to the
Oh yeah,
Tower
sorry.
of
We've
Salt to
we've
test
gone
it.
to the Tower of Salt. That's what
That's like the
happens.
very, very end.
So we should talk
Or at the
about
base of the Tower of Zod.
we should talk about the first time Fandaniel appears, which is a little bit before this, where he says
No, it's not.
when he goes into the building, he sits on the cliffside looking down at us
Yeah.
going in.
Once Nidana's kidnapped, yeah.
Oh, is that after? Isn't she kidnapped at the tower? Oh yeah,
Yeah, she's
sorry, we
kidnapped
go
at the
back.
tower.
Sorry, I keep thinking that we go into the tower. No, pretty sure he does that way before. Yeah. No, he
But
does
he
this.
doesn't explain anything until later, doesn't
Oh
he?
yes, he
He
does.
explains them to us.
No, but he sits there and he's like, "Oh, I remember my past life. Oh, what was my name? Owen is what he said. Like Owen." He says something like that.
No, it's Owen's not. He remembers the name Owen. He
Yeah.
remembers them talking. He remembers them finding ways to try and prevent tempering. That was it.
Yeah.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
He's
threw
like,
out
"Oh,
the
it's
name
so
Owen,
similar."
which made me think, oh, he was Owen. He was that like hologram that we found in
As
with that
well.
Allegan researcher. No, we know. Let me just say this: we've all cleared the expansion. I'm just saying he throws out the name Owen. Actually, he adds multiple e's.
Yeah.
He doesn't remember.
because he's like he can't remember.
But
Anyways,
yeah, that happens after Nidana she's created the talisman and he's watching just on his
Yeah.
own monologue.
yeah.
But then we do decide to test it. She pushes it too far. We're now like at the entrance to Zot.
Yeah, I was like, we're going a little bit too close now. I think it works. I think we can just go.
we can go
Let's just
back.
go. Let's just go.
She
Uh,
gets
Fine
tentacle
if
grabbed.
yeah.
it would have been fine if Van Daniel wasn't there.
Mm.
Probably.
He's gotta-
Still
he's
too
gotta be there.
dangerous.
Because he's
Yeah.
barely in this expansion.
That is true.
He's
Um.
technically in a lot of this expansion.
Well, the fan Daniel we see here at least.
Yeah.
Mhm. We
yeah.
go in Zot briefly while he kidnaps her. And then, is that when we have an Echo flashback or not?
I think that
Is
there's
this-
a little echo flashback. Where he's
Yeah,
like,
we do have an echo flashback to when as we were,
All right,
were alluding to earlier.
We are going. I just want to warn us that we are going very into the nitty gritty of the story right now.
That's true. Yeah, that is
We're
true.
not supposed to do this.
All right.
No, I agree, but I
Fandaniel
think
is
talking about
Amon.
Fandaniel's past is quite important.
Yes, but we're not talking about that yet. We're talking about how she's being kidnapped. So we have to get into the tower. So
This is when we hear that.
Yeah, it's
God.
as she's getting kidnapped.
Oh, yeah,
That's
you're
right
right.
now. That's why I want to talk about it now.
he reveals he was Amon,
Mhm.
which is a big reveal. Although
Didn't expect that.
No?
well, no.
He had to be someone,
But-
but I didn't expect them on.
This has been discussed on the podcast before because this was a real theory that for some reason we decided wasn't worth bringing up again because I remember us talking about it because we said it can't be him because he's in the Crystal Tower. Like he's in there. But that is
But no,
conveniently
a clone.
explained as a clone later in the story. But yeah, so he is Amon.
He
So
was disillusioned with the
Empire.
the Empire.
Yeah.
Like they were just doing things for their amusement now.
Yes.
It's a habit that he has, apparently.
Yeah. So now we do Tower of Zot to free her from. We learn that we figure out that there is something inside the tower. Oh, that's after we've done the tower. Isn't
That's
it?
after
Okay.
once Y'shtola gets to the top.
Do we
of the
need
tower.
to talk about the Tower of Zot, like in any particular way? The
I mean,
It's
it's
a
got
reasonably
Magus.
difficult dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mage's sisters are in there,
Yeah, it's a
They're
fairly hard
local-
dungeon.
and they're
Deities.
they're essentially primals, you could say,
Yeah.
that have been created in the tower.
I don't like the meat that they put the Batanga in, though.
No.
I don't like
Really?
it. was like,
I don't like the teeth does.
No,
I don't
love
like the
this
meat that
place.
was presented.
no,
I love the
No.
platforms that snake out.
no.
There's a lot of meat.
I don't like the final battle. I think it's too chaotic.
I think
That's
it's great.
pretty
I
easy.
love it. I was like,
The
oh
first battle's the
yeah,
hardest.
first
The
dungeon.
first battle was the hardest?
Mm.
I don't agree with that.
Oh no. Okay. Well, you're
I can't
wrong.
even remember the first fight.
Well, the last fight's hard because that Major Sister are in it as
Yeah,
well.
because it's just
but
all three of
the
them.
other two aren't hard. The first one's hard.
Okay. Anyways, after the battle, we find the heart of the tower, which I think is it Y'shtola that's like, oh, this is weird because it's like pulling in
Yes.
more than it requires.
Needs.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
also a man's limb in here.
Yes, there's a man's
That's
limb,
weird.
which is
Luckily,
very
she can determine the sex.
yeah. When we learn what that is, it's quite grim.
Yes.
But anyways, they figure they can shut that shit down because that's essentially what's keeping the tower like existing, and that will save all the people presumably in the tower, probably, but who knows? But then they start doing it, and they're like, "We are in the tower. We are, in fact, we're on top of the tower."
That's fucking slapstick ass shit. Looks
Yeah.
like we're gonna fall. Oh no.
Yeah.
How do they just appear and then dissipate?
Magic.
They say it's technology, but I sort of feel like it's like ether. It has to be entirely ether.
Ether,
I think
Yeah.
they
magic,
are.
technology,
Partially.
and
Yeah,
Akasha.
but how are they Garland technology? Oh, it's annoying.
Yeah.
Don't think about it.
And then I like how later on, once we've actually destroyed all of them, they're like, yeah, the others just disappeared, but don't worry, they didn't fall to their deaths.
No, they had parachutes on.
True.
That's true.
Okay, so there's this scene of just Matangus just strewn all over the beach, which is quite funny.
It's like Elephant Normandy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
yes.
Mela.
Okay, so anyways, we are invited to Radzat Han
Oh
to
my God,
speak to
yeah.
the Sot Trap. The
We're
whole,
finally gonna meet
which
him.
by the way, up until this point has been like presented as like the most revered man in all of Thavnir. Like that is,
Mhm.
I mean, it's their, for lack of a better word, satrap is essentially just a king, right? It's just that's their word for
It's
it.
yeah.
Oh, Mr. Sawtrap.
Yeah.
Bring me a dream.
So we go meet with him, and Estinian's like, and he has this whole spiel. Can I just say, to people that play Aura, a male specifically,
Oh yeah.
that scale mustache isn't cute.
Why?
I hate it.
I think it's wicked.
Stop being judgmental.
I am sorry, it's not cute. It's weird. Anyways, yes?
We did actually meet him earlier. We're meeting them again. We already know that Vritra is using the Satrap as a figurehead at this point.
Oh, do we?
Yeah,
Oh,
we've done
I
the
was
re-
surprised by this as well. I got confused when I was redoing the MSQ. I was like, "Oh, we meet Vritra before we went back to Old Charlian to pick everyone up." But okay, but it's not that important. But
okay.
yeah, Vritra is actually the one in charge of
Yeah.
hands using a puppet.
Because Estinian's like, oh, there's enough with this bullshit. I know you're behind there.
Bring up the curtains.
Yeah.
And it's
I
just
know
this
you've got
blood
your
dragon.
little dragon puppet
Yeah.
boy as well.
Yeah, Farshan is a construct.
Yes.
He's a mammoth.
He's a mammoth.
He's
They
a mammoth,
specifically call him a
essentially.
mammoth.
Yeah.
And that's how he sees around his empire.
Yeah.
He's fueled by one of Vritra's eyes, so
Yeah.
it allows Vritra to see everything without actually being out amongst the people.
Yeah.
And that's why his eyes were bright red. And it all makes sense.
Yes. Okay, so let's talk about
Did you think
yeah, go on.
Vritra would be just like the leader of Radzat-Han?
No, I
No.
was interested in how they'd introduce him to the story.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
It was cool. I'm not gonna get stuck on every time I see the engine like being stretched to its limits, but Vritra's idle animation looks like an old animatronic struggling to stay alive because it goes. That's his head. Sorry, just had to say that. Radzat-Han.
Quickly, is Vritra the first and only dragon that speaks exclusively in English?
Yeah,
Has
I
to
think
be.
so.
I think so.
Maybe Tiamat. I can't remember her, but yeah.
I don't remember
No.
Tiamat ever speaking in
No,
English.
they all
I
go
actually
to the
don't like it.
Teen.
Yeah,
That
I
kind
much
of
preferred that.
Yeah.
I don't like that he speaks in English.
Well, it makes sense though because he's been communicating with.
That's true. That's
yeah.
true.
Oh, apparently
Um,
Vidofna speaks English as well? Okay.
Okay. Well, there you go. Okay. Anyways, Radzat-Han.
Looks cool inside. It's a little bit confusing.
It
but
is.
It's sort of as an end game
But
city.
it's
It's actually
confusing.
super well made.
Yeah.
No jump puzzle.
There is a jump puzzle.
There is.
There is?
There is.
I couldn't find it. Damn.
Mhm.
Yeah, there is a jump puzzle in Radzat-Han.
It's not very hard, Rollo, don't
no.
worry.
What am I gonna do when I idle now?
Much better music than
This one's a bop as well.
than Shadowbringers, like we said, than Yulemore.
Oh, I think the Yulmore night theme is good, but at least in Radzat-Han, I like both the day
Yeah.
and night theme.
Yeah,
well, post game.
Oh yeah, the
Oh.
ones that aren't.
True.
Yeah, that's all.
The
I
sad
hear.
song isn't.
True.
It's just a sad song.
But
Yeah,
great layout
'cause-
because all the tombstone people and collectibles are just in two corridors right near the Aetheryte.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When we first arrived at Radzat-Han is like actually kind of locked off. So
No Aetheryte for you.
no
Yeah,
Aetheryte.
Any-
no
even
Aetheryte
use
use for you.
No.
They've turned it off so people can't teleport and do bad things in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Didn't know you could just turn off an Aetheryte.
Well, I mean,
Happens
they.
twice in the story.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
it's just
It happens in
good.
Garlemald
Thank
as
God
well.
they've got that technology.
Okay. It is
I
here.
mean, you'd hope you could turn it off. It'd be like if you had train stations that you could not close.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't want trains coming in them, they could just always come in them.
I'm sorry, sir. We turned the power on. That's how it is forever now, sir. We can't stop the trains.
Well, they're like beacons in the live stream.
Yeah. True. Oh god, that's horrifying. Actually, yeah, because you're like, oh, time to teleport from I don't know, old Charlian. You can start going, and you can see the the node, and then it just goes. shattered.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the MSQ, this is where we learn about Akasha, the flower.
It's
We
it's the
show-
cornerstone of Thavnarian alchemy suddenly. So thank God for that as well.
But it's no,
it's
well,
not the
you're making
cornerstone of
it is
Thavnarian
definitely
alchemy.
not, because she says
well, it's a big
just
thing,
like
sorry,
us,
that's emerging,
no
but
one knows
quite knows about it.
what it is.
Yeah. Even in Thavnair, it's like a controversial topic, maybe.
Yes.
It's not like something that they all accept.
It's not
it's
like
big.
accepted science yet, because they can't really pin it down. They don't have anything.
They can't work with it, really.
Right. Yeah.
No, that's true.
So yeah, that's sort of planted in our minds.
Well, we should say what Akasha is.
Oh yeah,
shouldn't we?
sorry. Akasha is emotions, is what she says. Like it has something to do with emotions, but what they don't really know. That's how it changes colors, is based on emotion,
Something about feeling.
and specifically not ether. I believe she says it is separate from
It's
ether.
separate.
So yeah,
It's a form of matter,
which is like
or what-
blasphemy in
Yes,
like
I know.
science.
She even says like, we know that in your backwards country that you think everything is powered by ether, but no.
Yeah. So the late night dinner party, is that the one that happens in Old Charlian, or as
Yes,
Yeah.
we go back. We have a little fun
It's
before
fun.
we go
So
back
this-
into serious story time.
So this is a scene where I will say they were showing off, and it worked.
Yes.
This scene probably cost like $2 million.
Yeah.
This was half the budget.
Funny cat eat the burger.
Yeah,
It was
cat
the
ate
best.
burger.
I mean, it was like the most
It's
jiggly burger
such
ever.
a
It was
massive
cheese oozed.
burger.
Yes.
Bigger than his head.
I love
yeah,
it. I eat a burger like
Did-
that.
And I was so amazed. I didn't even. It felt like the burger kept shrinking as he ate it. Like, were there multiple
did.
bites?
There were
There
more
multiple
bites.
Crazy.
and the cheese came out, and like
Yeah.
it squidged.
Was
and
it
they could
like-
open the top and take the pickles out?
Yeah, wasn't Owsley taking off the pickles? I was
Yeah,
like,
he put it on
yeah,
his
take
plate.
Take out that fucking pickles, believe the pickle juice.
But what really got me is that when she takes the cookie and she puts it in her mouth,
She
and it
slices it
breaks
off.
exactly how you'd expect it to. Like,
Yes.
I'm like,
This was the extra 2 weeks.
yes.
You have to put the cookie in. It's important.
Yeah, very
That
cool.
scene blew me away. I was so happy with that.
Very nice. Of course, it put me on
It
edge.
was a very
immediately,
nice,
but-
comfy scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, you
Made me
think
feel-
one of these 4 people was going to die?
Death
Graha,
flags.
Alphinael,
Death
Azael, or
flags
Kryl?
all over the place, because I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, we're having such a good time, and that means
Ryle
bad times
was
are
probably
coming.
Number one.
She
Uh,
like
she took off her hood again.
yes.
I like it when she takes off her hood.
Yes.
She has the prettiest hair.
She
I
does
love
have
you,
pretty
Kryl.
hair.
Mhm.
Okay. Big moment is Garlemald, of course. This is we sort of the decision is kind of made to aid Garlemald, because I mean Garlemald is actually really sad.
Yes.
Like the state of Garlemald even before we get there, just the idea that everything has collapsed and there is no government, there's everything's fallen up. Your military is like fragmented, they're fighting each other, it's complete chaos. So the Eorzean, the grand companies of Eorzea are like, it's time to be the good guys and just go in there to help them.
And everyone's there.
Everyone is there. Everyone is there.
They spend a long time making sure you know everyone is there.
Yeah.
And hey, did you
Oh.
do a quest with this guy? Maybe he has something to say to you too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, if you have not done some of the quests related to some of the NPCs that are part of here, you cannot speak to them here.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah, because I had done all of the quests on my main, but when I went back on my alt, I was like, oh, I can't interact with the pugilist member. I can't interact with the Guidalon Sanson from the Bard quest line.
Oh.
So that's how they get around it. They won't talk to you.
I see.
They
I
have
don't
nothing
think you
to
have
talk
to
to you
get
with.
too far into them, because I think the scholar guy talked to me, but I'm obviously haven't done many scholar quests.
Mhm.
I've only
Yes.
done the unlock one.
What did you think of the representatives for each of the city
Yeah,
states?
I was gonna say, before we talk about that specifically, can we just mention the fact that the city-state leaders? We're not going to talk about the job quests, but how do you feel about them being relegated to the job quests and thus not being able to be part of the MSQ? I
Where would
felt
they come
Oh,
up
the
with
role
it?
quest, right?
I
yeah.
felt like this was such a big moment. I mean, it's explained in the. I mean, yeah, I know that they explained in the role quest, but when you're doing the MSQ, that hasn't even been unlocked yet.
No, that
And
hasn't happened
No.
yet.
This is a pivotal moment in Eorzean history, and none of the city-state leaders are there. I thought
I
that
agree
was
with you.
very
It was the
odd.
ultimate B-roll cast. It
Yeah.
was-
Well, I mean, because they're busy with the towers. Because you've just gotten all the
Yeah. Can they
shards.
really? Can they really abandon their countries when there's this giant aggressive
good
like,
point.
beacon in their
Yeah.
cities?
That's true. That's true.
Like it
Anyways,
totally makes sense.
The
I
repres-
don't question it.
well, okay.
Lisa is B-roll, chat.
be honest, Lise is
Definitely.
C-roll for me. I hate her.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
Mm.
Okay.
So yeah,
So,
from
the
Gridania,
representatives.
Arun Senna.
I think that's
I like
nice.
him as a character, but I've said it. Just his hairline makes my eyes water. Like it makes my eyes like itch. because
Yeah.
I just think how annoying that would be.
Yeah.
I can see through that.
He,
What do you? What about the guy that sounds like Mela?
Sick
Card.
oh, Sicard.
To be honest, I did not remember who Sicard was at first.
Oh, you didn't remember?
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
No, I was
Uh,
like, because I recognize everyone else in this room. So I was like, Sicard. I didn't even know his name. When they was panning past, I was like, who is that blue-haired man?
yeah. That's why they
like
introduced
him.
him in the end of Shadowbringers, so that they had someone to
He's
send.
such a weird representative for
I
Limsa
know.
Lominsa.
I know. He doesn't have
I
any
mean-
authority. Well, I guess.
Who else
as a-
would you send in his place from Limsa?
I thought she
You
would
still
send
can,
her like a Mistbeard man. Yeah,
Whatever his
there-
name is.
Yeah.
Mistbed.
Yeah, I don't remember his actual name. Or Rainer for that. Yeah,
Or Rainer, yeah. I was also
yeah.
thinking Rainer could have been a possibility.
Oh,
But I guess people don't remember who Rainer is.
I
Or
guess
a
it's
big
been
member
a
of
while.
the Yellow Jackets, or a sister of Edelweiss, or literally anyone.
Literally
other than
anyone but
an execution.
Sicard. Yeah.
I think it's funnier though, because like they probably sent him to die. 'Cause
Yeah.
they didn't think he was gonna come back. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It was super B-roll, but whatever.
Ishgard, I understand. Ishgard makes
Well,
sense.
Lucia makes sense because she's Garlean.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
she's
mean,
the
I
leader.
don't think Amana Lane was sent there by choice.
No.
I
He
think
needs to
I
be
think he
Artwarel-
specifically
I
says that
think
it
Artwarel
wasn't.
volunteered him.
Yeah, he
Yes.
did. Yeah.
That guy needs to be a man soon. Come on.
Oh,
yeah.
he's an old boy.
Oh.
And it bothers me that Leith speaks for both Alamigo and Uldar.
Yeah. What is that? Like that's
She
so
has no
weird.
right. She has no right to speak for either because she's
See,
pretty much
Pip,
been absent from both their histories.
Yeah.
Pippin has no voice anymore, so he can't speak, unfortunately.
No.
Yeah,
Weird.
But who lives in Alamigo? Ralvan.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it's I think the Gridanian representative will acknowledge you if you've done the Wipe Mage quests.
He does.
Yeah.
He does because
So,
I didn't get that.
right. Okay. But yeah, so that's nice, I guess. But still.
He says something like, "Oh, with a competent white mage like you, at
Yeah.
least."
Yeah. Yeah.
I say just having a fucking gunblade on my back. I'm still doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then,
Right.
of course, the Far East as well.
Oh yes, let's not
right.
forget.
Radu, Magnai,
Yeah.
Cyranamol,
Yeah.
and some miscellaneous Bostions.
Miscellaneous potions.
No, they acknowledge you for helping with Imbazja.
They do.
They do, and I
They
like
do.
that.
Which is
But
nice.
where's Balsalien and all the good people?
Yeah.
I actually
Did you,
like.
well, they're
like
still
Balsalien.
trying to rebuild Bosnia, mate. Like,
Yeah.
they can't send their
No.
leaders.
Actually,
Did you-
characters though.
Did you like
Rostic
how-
is there. He is
Did
there.
you like how only Sirena and Sardu speak? They did
No.
not get Magnai's
Yeah.
voice activated.
Yeah. It's
They
weird.
That
did.
upsets me.
Yeah.
He still talks a
Well,
lot though.
We'll,
Yeah,
No, he
well,
doesn't. He uses voice clips from
This-
previous expansions.
Roller, didn't you notice how every time he spoke it was "Rawr"?
Yeah.
But I'm saying he says dialogue. I mean, like when
Yeah,
Yeah, he has dialogue. They all have dialogue.
Yeah. This is like one of at least 2 scenes where they do, 3, where you're getting like to talk to characters from previous quests. There is
This was-
specifically one scene that we'll get back to that can last for a very long time if you've done all the content.
Well, yeah, this was very nice and fan service.
This was
I
nice.
really liked this
Yes.
scene.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about Garlemald. We arrive. There's a bit of stealth.
Magna Glacius first,
Yeah, Magna Glacius. We have this.
not Magna Glacies.
No, thank God they say it like almost immediately.
They immediately say it.
Yeah. So we.
Oh, you didn't know it was Hythlodaeus?
so we do the stealth mission, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thancred stealth mission.
I
That's
appreciate.
cool.
I like that.
Metal Gear
not
Thancred.
That was
without
a high point.
without even talking about like what the instance was like. The fact that they acknowledge that it won't be as easy as just walking in. Like it's still protected and there's still shit we need to deal with. I like that. The instance is really fun. I thought that was
Very
quite
Yeah.
fun.
I liked it.
It has-
I spent
I
a
love
long
that-
time watching
This is
groups
Thancred.
and stuff.
This is
This is
Thancred.
Yeah.
I love that it came with all these special instructions as well, so as to really like tell you what you need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. You cannot just fucking whack everybody in there. You do have to stealth. You do have to wait around a corner.
Yeah.
Like it's
Good though.
Mhm.
It was like rock paper scissors enemies with the dogs and the
yeah,
guards and the
Mhm.
robots.
it's
I had a good time.
Yeah.
fairly robust too.
Yes.
Mhm.
Thank.
Thancred, the first character that we have role played twice.
True. Yeah.
The assassinate with Gunblade though looks pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Because it's just the assassin animation, but with a giant
Yeah.
gunblade. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think you're knocking them out, Thancred.
No, we're just knocking out. Don't worry, they'll wake up later. Still tempted though.
I had
I
so
hope we
much
go
fun.
pick them up later.
I don't know how many of you did this, but I would sneak around and then I would make it a goal to kill all of them. To just
Oh,
get
yeah.
rid of
Oh,
every
that's
single one,
Killing
even
them.
if I did eliminate them as quickly, like all of them. I think I did all of them, even though I didn't
That
have
must
to.
take
Like
it
that
a
last
while.
area had so many in them. I'm like, oh, so many. Yeah, but yeah,
I killed as little people. Knocked out as little people as I could.
Okay. Right. So then there's another instance where we have to fight with the contingent, which is kind of, compared to the previous instance, pretty cut and dry. We've been there, done that before.
Yes.
It's fun though.
Yeah,
Just get your butt plucked. Like,
Yeah.
wow, yeah, we're
We're
on a
finally doing it.
convoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of reminiscent of Chocobo Escort in a way, where you. But
I can see that.
yeah.
Everyone's back, Lucio.
Yeah,
They
it's
brought him
every.
back.
There's a cute scene where Magna thinks Serena's running up to him and
Oh,
he
yeah.
tries to hug her and she runs right past him.
Yes, yes. Okay, so we arrive at what we will quickly name Camp Broken Glass. We learn that it actually has a name, obviously, but
Which weirds me out that it has a real name and
And
then
it's
Lucia and Maxima don't know it.
yeah, I was gonna say that's weird.
They were city boys and girls.
Yeah, that's true. They lived in the
He lived
city,
in the
I guess,
city,
but
so.
yeah, but still.
It's not that far from the city. I
not.
know the suburb that's
sure is.
about that.
Okay, MMO scale.
This was like an important trade like place, wasn't it? Like where traders would come
Yeah,
in.
it was where
So
the trade
Yeah.
came in through.
Yeah.
Go to the city.
yeah. So let's talk about Garlemald as a zone.
It's also
Music.
a high point.
Yeah, I was surprised. I will say, Garlemald is, well, you'll find this with all of the zones. They look deceptively small on the like the actual map when you open it. You're like,
Yeah.
this is a small zone. Oh no,
Yeah.
no. It is much bigger. I think they've adjusted the scale or something on the map because goodness me, Garlemald is much bigger than I thought it was.
There's a lot of verticality from Garlemald. More than
Yeah.
I thought there would be.
Yeah. Garlemald was almost relentlessly depressing, and I
Yeah.
really appreciated that because it
yeah.
should
Yeah.
be. It was
Yes.
really well made in
It-
terms of like us going into like a place that are enemies,
Yeah.
and they hate us,
And it's
also
it's
destroyed.
it's sad as well because you kind of see that they were like, they had people who lived here they were having a good time.
There was
They
a
had-
playground.
There was a
They had
playground, there was a
heated
park.
pond in a playground.
Yeah, they
You
could
can
go.
also
yeah.
see,
Go on.
based on the environment, you can also see why they lashed out and tried to why they were so susceptible to Solus's desire to go to war.
Yes.
And they fucking hate you so much.
We'll get to that in a little bit, but there's one thing that I have noticed, which I think it's an ether current quest, or it might just be a normal quest, but there's someone who takes you on a tour of the city, and they explain that the Senate is still completely fine because it was built of like different materials. It was built to like withstand like war, which the other buildings were not, which is why they've collapsed. So the oldest buildings still stand, and I feel like that's going to be a plot point at some point in the story, that they still have their government building, and they also have like, you know, where the train stuff is. That's apparently very old as well because it still stands. So there you go.
Wait,
I think that's
did you wear a
where the
jacket?
restoration's going to happen. Sorry?
Also wore the
What did you say,
jacket.
Rollo?
Yes, I wore the jacket.
I wore the jacket.
Me too. I was like, you
We
made this
can't-
for me. I have to wear it the entire time.
We have to mention that there was this whole plot point with Emilians when she gave them Alphino and Alice 2 different outfits. And then when we go to Garlemald, Tara's like, I have made you garments. And they get identical jackets in different colors. Wow. Literally immediately after they're
Bit
back.
better than when they had identical outfits, including the colors.
True. That's true. That's true.
Bow in Alice's hair to recognize.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So this is when we get introduced to a new recurring quest style, the follow
Oh my
someone
goodness
quest.
me.
This is my least favorite new quest.
Yes.
type.
This I will say, this one is because you are going into this quest with the old knowledge of the game, right? You kind of know this isn't a new thing where you have to like hide from NPCs. It's kind of happened before, and they usually have a very limited range.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Not anymore. They can see you
Eagle
miles
eyes.
away. Yeah.
See, for some reason, I was really suspicious, and thankfully, I realized that because I could see a lot of people failing and running all the way back to
Yeah.
the start of
That
these
is-
quests.
That's the funniest thing of these. Like, I like these quests. I think they're all right. The funniest thing is seeing other people fail.
Yeah.
That's
Because
true.
they help you, and it's just funny.
But it also gave me this fear of being that guy that has to run back, because now everyone's
Yeah.
thinking, "Oh, you fool, you fucked up."
Everyone's laughing, and you just go back to the line, loser.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
green girl wasn't too bad because there are a lot of obvious boulders, and she didn't.
Yeah.
Like the little boy who runs around the car
yeah.
is the worst. But
You just need to have patience
She's
with
okay.
these.
you have to have
essentially.
patience.
Yeah. See, the thing with Licinia is that like the first thing you have to hide behind is so obviously just placed there to
Yeah.
let you know. You must hide behind things. We placed this obvious object that probably wasn't on the map,
Yeah,
and it sticks out
Yeah.
just so that you can hide.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like there's various pockets of like people who are still existing, and we learn that they didn't get tempered because of the cool wartime radios.
Yeah,
That's a pretty important plot point.
yeah.
The most depressing song.
I like it.
It's a lovely song.
Garland music just fucking sucks.
It's kind of sad because isn't the song like about how we're gonna return to like our old, our
Yeah,
birth
return to their
place.
homeland.
Yeah, the homeland.
Corvus.
Corvus. Corvus, by the way, being mentioned suspiciously
lot.
often. So, yeah, we'll
I
get
thought
back.
Mericidia was like 3 times, but Corvus and
Yeah.
its a Garlean name have been mentioned like 7
And-
times.
Yeah.
Corvus is where
Graha.
Graha's from.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So we
there's not a huge amount else to talk about, but we meet Euless.
we have to mention
Writing
you mentioned
things.
the radios. They are quite important because
Mm.
there's a question that now rings because we learned that everyone sort of just turned at some point, like they got crazy.
Mhm.
But there's some pockets of people that still like are fine. Why? And one thing they have in common apparently is this radio that has this
brand of
weird
radio.
crystal. Yeah,
Yeah,
Just
it's
one
an
brand.
anti-tampering
yeah,
device.
yeah.
An anti-tempering ore is involved. Quickly before Euless, what did you think when you saw what happened to Licinia and her sister? Were you expecting that?
No.
No.
I knew that they were going to trust us and they were going to betray us. I didn't think they were just going to die that
No.
quickly, though.
That was a bit of
No,
an
but that again
unexpected turn.
solidified how good this zone was because they were willing to just kill people off.
Because that's something that
they
really... Yeah, go on.
They were so unwilling to trust us.
Yeah.
That they would rather like go out into the wild where there are many horrible monsters that can and will kill them.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah. Because they're really
Very-
like brainwashed. Like they are completely... We
Yes.
are the enemy. Like the
I
enemy.
mean, we are.
We are
The
kind of, I guess.
people
But
literally, there's that one dude in the camp that's like, "Hey, I saw you kill everyone in Praetorium.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I want to murder you right now." But
Yeah. Yeah.
They've so strongly associated magic and its negative effects with pretty much the rest of the world that, like, why wouldn't they associate what is happening now with us as well?
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't they think that?
Right.
Yeah, they refused the healing magics and stuff and everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
Um,
Let's go to the Yulus. Yulus.
yeah, this is like half two of this zone. He's rifling through the bins in our camp.
Yes.
We confront him, and yet somehow
He's
he
pretty
wins
bold.
the argument.
Yeah.
He's pretty fucking bold considering he has no like
Yeah.
not stakes. He has like nothing. Yeah.
I don't even.
He's just a one man.
He's just a
And
guy.
He manages to get us to go with him.
Yes.
you do have to give it to the Garleans. They will literally just talk shit to the very end.
Yeah.
When they're clearly like
Yeah.
limbs lopped off. Like,
Yeah.
I'm better than you.
Yeah. Yes. He leads us to this train station where we meet Legatus Quintus of the First.
That was a big poggy.
Yeah, and I was so happy that it wasn't. Remember when people said it was Nero? Because I'm like, this game has 4 haircuts. That doesn't prove anything. So yeah, he's bonkers.
He's like homeless God, but he's got even more beard.
Yeah.
Even, but yeah, he's cool.
There-
He's very cool.
There's a dude in 12.
Cool.
that,
He's a fuckhead.
Well, he's cool in the sense that
He's cool looking.
He's very design. But in his mind, he's a troubled man. He is very Garlean, and
He's
he
very Guardian.
literally puts like shock
Slave
collars.
collars.
Yeah,
It's like Caesar in Fallout New Vegas.
yes, kind of. Yeah, but
Like,
they
all right.
don't put it on us because we are
Yeah.
too powerful.
I didn't like this bit, to be fair. I thought, God's sake, Alphino and Alizé, once again, your stupid bull-headed kindness has got us in trouble again.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well,
That's
yeah.
their strength.
True. No, true.
Quintus is sort of in denial about everything that's happened, about like the state of Garlemald. He still thinks that there's some
chance.
way,
Yeah.
because it's impossible that
He
it's
still thinks
fallen
Var-
apart.
Still thinks Varus is alive, doesn't he?
Which is
Or does
which
he
is a
not?
belief. I think. Wait, I don't know if he does it, but that's
Or
a
is it
belief.
just Licinia and friend, like
Yeah.
the common people?
It's a
that think that
common.
Varus is
The
alive?
common folks still believe, and they think it's linked to the radio broadcast even. That he's still trying to like help his people, because Varus is held in very high regard, which Xenos is not, obviously.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
he's like the God King.
Yeah, he is later in the story marked as a traitor, so his title changes.
Yeah, they even
Enemy
even
of the
Xboxes
Empire.
change it.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's this whole thing with him. You have to. I don't remember exactly what we're doing.
We look for ceruleum, and
Yeah.
Euless gives us.
Oh yeah, because they're
some
freezing to
backs-
death.
They literally
Yeah,
have
they are.
nothing.
Yeah, they have nothing,
Yeah.
and we are. Oh, that's
So
so
Euless gives us his backstory. as
fucking
well.
annoying. This whole thing. We're like, but we can give it to you, and they're like, no,
Honestly.
I won't take it from you. And they're like, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna find it ourselves. We're gonna scavenge for it. Like, fuck you now.
We've already scavenged hundreds of times. Let's keep scavenging.
Yeah.
They literally steal the ceruleum that's heating the kiddies' swimming pool.
It's
Yeah.
not heating
I mean,
the kiddies'
well, no,
pool anymore.
that
It's already
pool is
turned
dead.
off.
That pool's over.
Excuse me, it's still water.
Oh, that's
It
true.
must be a bit
That's
warm.
a good point. That water has not frozen.
I mean, when we emerged from it, both us and Alizé say we're fucking freezing.
Yeah, but
I think
It'd be
that's I think
cold.
that's sludge. I think that's like oil
Yeah.
mixed with like
Maybe.
water, possibly
Yeah.
blood.
something
and
is
other...
preventing it from freezing.
It's
Um,
bad. It's
yeah.
too salty.
Anyways,
probably.
we can't go too far deep into this, but essentially what happens is that the pressure builds, and I think when we come, oh God, what
When
happens?
we come back with the ceruleum, Quintus is like, "Yeah, deal's off."
Yeah,
You know how I said I wasn't gonna imprison Alphino and Alizé? I lied.
yeah. So he does. He
Got 'em.
imprisons them.
All the ceruleum in the tanks or into the walkers right now.
Yeah.
But
So
then they get let out by a SWAT team,
yeah.
and
Yes,
then it all
but-
goes
but-
downhill for Quintus.
Who?
What did you think of Euless as a character, and then also Quintus? Start with Euless.
Blah.
He's a little
Really?
fucking baby piss boy, but you know what? He's my little baby piss boy.
Yeah, that is a
He had
quote.
He's such
He
a
had to-
stupid little
has a good
He
brat.
had to kill his entire family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
He's
feel
a
like he
dark
was a pretty
backstory.
decent Guardian.
He's a bad guy. He's sad. He misses.
I mean,
he wishes he could go back to normal
I mean,
to what he thought was good.
it's-
But
it's so understandable that he would not trust us when he thinks that it is our people
Yeah.
that forced him to kill his entire family.
He helps us see the perspective of the Garleans, like why they're feeling the way they are, because
Yeah.
yeah,
I think
I mean,
he
he's-
grew on me, but I don't want him to become a mainstay.
oh, he's definitely going to be.
Oh, he
He can't
definitely
be-
is Mela.
Yeah, he's
he
our
can't
link
be
to
a party
Garlemald,
member. I'll say that.
Right.
He can't be a party
No.
member.
but he's definitely going to be important for that section of the story whenever we get to that again.
And then Quintus.
Quintus,
Not enough character development.
he
for
didn't
me,
get
but he
much
was
time
okay.
to shine, but what we did learn from is very interesting. He's a very I think in Garlean terms he's very honorable because he is unrelenting to the cause, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
to
And
the
we learn
point
about
where
the-
he actually
was
just
willing to let
yeah, go on. He was willing to let
people freeze.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's not a nice guy.
I mean,
He's-
he's not a
I think
nice
he's-
guy. he's a bad person, but he was definitely a Garlean soldier or officer even.
Mhm.
I think he's
You look at
definitely a
his fu-
symbolic character, in the sense that he's like the Garlean old guard.
Yeah.
You know, very stern way of thinking.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It has to be this way.
Yes.
Bears to the end,
And also-
then
He was. Can't forget that he was kind of in denial and was kind of expecting help to arrive at some point. So it was okay to freeze a little bit because it would only be temporary. But obviously he was completely wrong and
Well,
he
we
killed
sort
himself.
of killed his help. Well,
Yeah. Well, he
took
did
his
that
help.
too. He
Because
it
he
was-
wanted the third to help them as well, but we
Yeah.
beat them up when we arrived and put
No,
them
he
in
want-
prison.
the 10th.
Well, he was also waiting for the 10th from
Yeah.
Yeah.
from different provinces, but
Mhm.
then they sent word to us saying,
Yeah.
we unilaterally surrender.
And
Yeah.
I think that's what reached him in his little
He got
train.
triggered, I think is the word. Um,
and
he
then
pulled the trigger. That's for
he
sure.
killed himself.
Do you
which
look
was-
at that final act as a positive? Did you not as a positive, but do you think he did that for good reasons or bad reasons?
I feel like he just couldn't take it anymore. I think it was a personal struggle.
It might have
I
been
think
a
it's a
really
personal
powerful
struggle.
scene, though.
I think it was his denial that finally just gave up, and he's like, "There's no reason anymore." I think because his
The
world
interesting
is
thing was he
gone.
described to us the reason the Guardian symbol has the red in the middle,
Yeah.
and then his blood was streaked across it. I thought it was
Yeah,
really
it was very
clever.
nice and symbolic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not out of pity or anything. Not like
No.
not even of duty. Just like like this.
It was too
The
much.
empire's over. Like this is it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole
least-
Death
no-
over dishonor. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably what it
At
was.
the very least, kind of Japanese World War II mentality.
Yeah, kind
at
of.
least he releases his soldiers, such that
Yes.
they likely won't get blamed.
True. So from that moment on, we have God, what is the
Something
infamy called?
cray happens.
Oh, what happens now?
This is when it.
Yeah, that's
it
when
all
we
goes
start to get
cray.
cooperation, and then
Oh.
Euless, he's like, "Oh, look at those people," and then yeah,
Yeah, so that was a very nice moment for him where he's like in the camp. Is because I'm
I
assuming it's
wish it
this
wasn't.
when the
Yeah.
Alamegans offer him.
I wish it wasn't with strangers.
True.
I wish they were actual characters.
But they were
I liked that
Alamegans,
scene.
which was like that's
Try
a
it.
province that they
Well,
have fucked
it
up
was-
a lot over the years.
It was an Alamegan originally, but it was also the Gridanians, Limpsons.
Yeah. There was all of
Everyone.
them, but I think it kind of felt like the Alamegan part. They kept lingering on
Mhm.
them specifically because
I
Yeah.
like that scene did. Yeah,
That was a nice scene.
because it was like they really for a game they really well acted the feeling of being an outsider,
yeah.
like feeling like one personally, but not being treated like one, and it kind of
Yeah.
you saw him slightly open up.
Yeah.
It was cute.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was also probably an existential point where it's like, how can these people that he'd always been taught were just like savages,
Yeah.
how can they be like this?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Like,
and why are they
when-
so willing to help me when
Right.
how can he accept that these people are just normal when for so long he thought that they were the reason his family was dead?
Really make you think, huh?
It was
Yeah.
a good scene. Really
Yeah.
good scene. And he goes
Instantly,
crazy and we get
yeah.
kidnapped.
instantly broken by the roar happening, and you can see the shield that goes over people.
Yeah,
Presumably,
but he doesn't have one.
yeah, he doesn't
It's
have
the
one.
talisman,
It's the
'cause we-
talisman.
we
Yeah.
really should have given them one.
Yes,
They were about to. They were getting.
They were
ready.
going to, yeah. But yeah, so they're starting to go crazy. We get kidnapped, and this is where we get the scene with Xeno. This is
We
what
get
actually.
dinner time.
This is what happens in this cutscene. Like, is really good because I thought there is no way they're gonna scare me with Xenos again. They can't do it. They've done it too much. But then we wake up in someone else's body. And we're just having like this fucking dinner party, and Van Daniel serving wine. I'm like, what
I
the
love
fuck is
this.
happening? This is madness.
Yeah,
And so yeah, he's like, they're trying. It doesn't. You know what? Let's not go into the details of what happens during the dinner. That is kind of irrelevant because what happens next is that Xenos just gets up from the table, is like, oh, this didn't work anyway. Let's just get on with it and do the thing. He walks over to like a chair, and who's in the chair?
You.
That's
you.
me. Oh no.
He takes over your body, and that's such a terrifying concept that he can do that. And we are in this just nobody's body, and we are just
and you
thrown
find
out.
out how fucking weak.
Yeah.
This kind of shows like how brave Garleans are in general.
Yeah.
The fact that they are this weak,
Yeah.
and yet they still throw themselves at us.
They can't.
He's-
They don't regen
that's-
health. Yeah.
That's not even a regular Garlean too. That's like a general or something. Like, 'cause he's not wearing the fucking infantry.
Oh yeah, he's
armor.
like an officer. This is like a higher ranking
Yeah.
one. So
He
It's
might have been an
reasonably-
officer once upon a time.
yeah. Yeah.
It's just like
you have to scavenge.
Instance.
You have to scavenge for health kits to survive.
I think
Yeah.
this was really well designed, and it was super tough and scary, and it took
It was
ages.
really well made.
Yeah.
It was.
It was very
such-
long.
It was such a good duty because I actually kind of panicked. Where I was
Yeah.
like, I'm
Yeah.
running out of time.
Yeah.
And I don't know where to go or what to do. I've roamed across almost the entire map.
Yeah. And I.
Did
I
anyone
was-
else spend absolutely ages searching for the stupid Magitech lamp?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And the timer just was, and I was so
Yeah.
happy
was
seeing the
no lag.
Garleans like that were fighting. I'm like, oh, people, I need help. Please help me. That was very nice.
It's kind of sad too because they show like the first dude that Friend Daniel shows you. He's like, all right, he's gonna try and kill you.
Yeah.
Get going, and
Yeah.
then like you have to kill him. You're literally too weak to just try and knock him out.
Mhm.
So anyone you fight, you're just killing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you feel so powerless
Yeah.
with some of the other Garleans because like the first one you meet, the one that gives you, I think, is it the key?
Yeah.
He's like in some kind of church looking thing almost.
Yeah.
You give him the key, or you get the key from when you activate the Magitech Walker, so you can progress the duty.
Yeah.
And if you go check back on him, which I did, because like, yeah, I'll come back for you. Like he just he's dead. He's
Yeah.
fucking dead.
Yeah.
It even says like maybe if you could have helped him in time or something. Like,
Yeah, it's sad.
Mm.
Yeah, and then at the end, of
just-
course,
it
when
was
you
a
do the
great
crawling at the end,
Yeah.
Oh, that was so stressful.
that is very so stressful.
The whole instance really exemplifies how powerless you feel. Like,
and how
when,
powerful
when you are
we
yourself. Yeah, when you are yourself, you just walk through the city. You
Yeah.
don't give a fuck about any of these things.
No. Yeah.
But when you're this single Garlean man,
Yeah.
everything is terrifying.
Yep.
Life's tough as a single guardian man.
You're like a slightly tall dude, but that's still like a giant hunk of machinery that can barely rip you up to shreds pretty easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Overall,
Great.
probably one of the
Was
best
that-
solo instances.
And the first
this
time I
episode
was like,
good.
in a long time, that I was like, oh shit, Xenos is actually
felt
really
hard.
scary now.
Was
Yeah,
that crawling animation the same one the zombies do, by the way?
I
Is it
think
like the same?
it might be.
I think so.
it might be.
Yeah.
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 I
It's a
liked
bit
that it
slower,
changed
though.
Speed.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah, we also should probably Xenos makes it to the camp before us, and they're like running towards us. But I was
Yeah,
so
great to see
happy
you.
that they was it Graha and Alize
It's
or
Graha and
Alphino?
Alize.
Yeah, Alize. They kind of almost immediately know that something's wrong.
Mhm.
So
Well, because Xenos gives him this fucking creepy grin.
yes.
It's so fucked up too because they play like happy music.
Yeah.
You're like, no,
Yeah.
that's not me. Don't.
Yeah. He's like, hey, sicko.
we didn't nod.
They
True.
notice.
Yeah, so and we appear, we intercept there's a little bit of a fight, and he shows off his horrible avatar thing, the Reaper
Very
thing
cool.
with the hands.
Never explain.
No, it's weird, isn't it?
But hang on though, Rollo. The avatar's super important, and we're going to find out what's so important about Xenos' one and where it came from.
Yeah.
Yoshi P wouldn't just.
It would
Yoshi
just-
P said we'll learn about our own avatar too.
yeah, weird that, huh?
At least so far.
Yeah. All right.
There's-
Anyways, we need to move. So Tower of Babel is
Mhm.
revealed quite
easy.
early on in the Garlean story, actually. But yeah.
Decent dungeon.
It's a
has
dungeon.
Millipedes on the floor.
Well, it has Final Fantasy IV bosses, which is cool. It
Yeah,
has
it's cool.
Yes.
Doctor,
Robotnik.
Dr. Robotnik essentially, and
Yeah,
his
he gets
toy.
punched at the first boss, and then he transforms himself at the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funniest because that dude, he seems pretty lucid, not
Yeah.
too tempered.
Barnabas.
I think
yeah.
he's not tempered. I think he's just a member of the Telophoroi. I think he's one of the only people that we see who's a member of the Telophoroi willingly.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just a theory, though.
Dr.
game theory.
Lugai.
Lugae is.
Lugae.
We don't know. It's not. His name's not said.
No.
We don't know how to say things unless they say them.
It's Barnabas
Well-
and Dr. Lugai.
It would be
Yeah.
Lugai probably because it's like Lugai because
Lugai.
Vitae like curriculum.
Oh
vitae.
yeah, Lugai.
It's Latin.
I
Yeah.
liked.
So Lugai.
I liked that you had to either turn yourself into a frog or make yourself small to avoid certain mechanics.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, it was
He
nice.
was quite a fun boss.
they're funny.
Then the final boss.
Oh yeah, the final
Oh
boss
my
is
god,
Anima.
The final boss is Anima.
And this
oh
is
my God,
also
it's Varus.
okay. Actually, we need to explain Anima now because I think is that after or before Anima? It doesn't matter. They cut up Varus into pieces and put him in the towers.
Yeah.
Just
Mhm.
the
And
arms.
the towers-
Does he have? There's so many towers.
You can
One-
cut out
he's
a
got
lot of a
10 toes
human.
and 10 fingers.
Yeah.
One of them was just his entire arm.
Yeah.
I don't want to know where one tower came from. That's for sure.
Yeah, quite
Yeah,
awful.
it's a clever primal because it sucks the ether and sends it back
Yeah,
to the Tower of Babel.
yeah,
But he's actually
This is
a pushover.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a very visually cool boss. I like the mid phase. I like the like.
Well, yeah, when you descend below.
Yeah.
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 that's cool. It is very easy. I agree with Mela.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
If,
look, he's not the worst pushover this expansion. My
That's true.
God.
Yes, Rollo.
the what's it called? You know the mechanic where it's the portal that yanks you across the room.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Eclipse or something.
You can just
Of
fucking
gravity.
use anti-knockback and just stand still
Oh,
for that.
okay.
It's really funny.
Well, there you go.
Sometimes helps you to be yanked on some if they're close though.
Okay. Tower of Babel. We finished that. We get to the end. There is a room. We see Fandaniel. There's some elegant tech on the floor. And he's like,
he is Ammon, remember?
Yeah,
so it makes
he is
sense.
Ammon. It makes sense. And he's like, oh, yeah, well, bye. We're going to the moon.
Yeah, lol.
Essentially.
No, they got to blow
Bye,
up
lol.
the moon.
Yeah, they're like, let's destroy it from down here. But then fucking Heidelin as Kryl teleports from old Sharlayan
Oh, yeah.
to shield.
True.
Yeah.
True.
They managed
The
to
last
break
seal.
Yeah.
almost all the seals of Zodiac
Yeah.
except one.
Yeah, except
Let's
for one.
remember
And
just
Heidelin
Yeah.
teleports them to the other side of the moon to give us more time to get there.
Yeah.
Such a fucked up thing.
I love that.
Send them just so off course.
let's just remember before we go to the moon that Zodiac is the eldest and most powerful of all primates.
Yes, we'll get to that.
He doesn't have a heart, Mela.
Okay, so they poof off to the moon, and we're like, oh, we have to go follow them. And they've also, by the way, they've just set the tower to just roar and make them all go crazy now, like all of their thralls. So shit's getting pretty spicy, you could say. We travel to the moon. Boom. Mare Lamentorum. The moon.
To be honest, I
love
didn't
this,
expect like the Watcher. It was a bit weird.
No,
It was super surreal
Watcher?
being there.
Yeah.
the Watcher's weird because I don't feel like he's ever really explained who he is.
No.
He was just
He's
put there
just-
by
Well, he was
Hydeland
just
for a
he's just a
joke.
construct of Hydeland, isn't
Yeah.
he? So he just isn't anyone.
Yeah, but doesn't he say that he's based on something?
Oh, does he?
I don't think so. No, I think he just said he's a construct.
I think he
I think
says-
he just explains to you that he's had literally the
He-
loneliest
did he?
and worst
They
existence.
told us-
Of
Yeah,
anyone.
he tells
Oh.
us he was someone back then.
Oh, someone of
Okay.
Venar's researcher friends. Okay, there you go.
Oh,
Yeah, but
okay.
I feel like that's so weird. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's so strange that he's not a specific person.
Yeah, yeah,
There's so many named Astians or ancients already. It don't matter.
yeah.
Also, Lunatenders are terrifying. I really don't
No,
like
they
that.
aren't.
Okay.
They're so.
Okay, okay.
I love Lunatenders.
I know there's a lot to say about the moon. Let's okay. We've said the
It's
Watcher,
scary.
Lunatenders. Okay. The first thing that greets us is, of course, the thing we've all seen in the trailer is the tower. That's where you go. You meet the Watcher,
crystal thing, yeah.
and the Watcher's like, I'm here.
I'm fucked up old dude.
Yeah,
Go
Yeah.
some
fix
old
the thing.
fart. I need to fuck you. Fucked shit up, haven't you? So he's just standing there trying to figure out how to deal with this. So apparently we have to go fix the seals. Now let's talk about the moon in general. The music of Mare Lamentorum.
I love it.
Music's
Very
cool.
nice.
And it doesn't get interrupted by battle.
No, it does not.
No, but it does have the Final Fantasy IV battle music later on
Yeah,
as a really
Mhm.
nice little.
and I wish there was. If I know. This is we haven't talked about how our theories have been all over the place before this game came out. there are some black and white moments, I think, but there also are a lot that we just did not
Oh
see.
yeah.
But there
Yeah.
is one thing that I have been saying since this podcast was founded, and that is that Zodiac is inside that fucking moon. And boy, was he. That was very nice, because I've been like doubting it. Like, because every time I say it, people are like, I don't think so. I'm like, but it makes sense, doesn't it? And they're like, no, it doesn't. Maybe
We
it
always
doesn't make
agree
sense.
with you.
Yeah.
What? What did you say? Georgi? What did you?
That
Hello?
we agree
Sorry.
with you.
I think we all agreed.
Yeah,
with you. I
well,
don't think any
yeah,
of us
but
ever really
people-
questioned it.
People.
No, I know other people
You
did.
know, there is more than 4 people around us.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
so
well, sometimes I wonder.
technically,
Yeah.
For that matter.
Yeah. Anyways, that was nice. But we go. Anyways, the music is very nice. So there's this ominous hole. That's what I wasn't going for. So there's a hole in the moon,
It's an ominous hole.
an ominous hole, and the Watcher's like, "That's where Zodiac is."
That's where he lives.
broken.
And there's these giant
Yeah, broken.
swords in the ground.
This is what. Okay, So I immediately became critical because I'm like, okay, I understand, because I also remembered that they kind of wanted another expansion before this. Like that was the original plan. And I'm like, but sir, Zodiac isn't finished yet. And they're sort of, it's the Watcher says so. Like he says, like there have been 7.
Not enough rejoining.
Yeah, there have been 7 rejoinings, and every time he grows stronger. But he's like, this is too soon. I didn't expect this, and I'm like, same, dude. What is happening?
Boy, what an expansion, huh? I feel like I'm at the end already.
Yeah. So we go around doing. Oh, that's where I think the dog appears while we're repairing
This is where we
things.
first see
Yeah, this is where
Golden
Argos starts
Argos.
showing us around.
Yeah.
Argus.
Argos.
They show
It
a.
was
Yeah.
I can't remember who. Someone from Greek mythology's dog.
Yeah. We later learn that is Heidelin's construct. Yeah, it helps us move around on the moon, which, by the way, massive,
Very big.
and excruciatingly annoying to traverse without flying. Because
agree,
there are
but
parts
I
that are
kind of liked
completely
that.
locked off, and you have to walk all the way around to get to it, like the fucking ship, like that
Yeah, but
area.
there's like that mushroom cave.
I know,
That's cool.
but if you're like on that
No, it
other
is
side,
annoying. It
you
is
have to like. Anyways, yeah. So Moon is really cool. I like it.
We fixed some seals.
Fix some seals, but then
It's-
Xenos.
Oh, we don't
Sort
fix
of.
the seals.
No,
We sort of we heal them a bit, but not enough.
they're temporary
Yeah.
fixes, I guess. But yeah,
We're just warding off the
There's just
souls.
Yeah.
some angry, unsunded souls.
yeah. There's some souls coming up.
It's not fair. I was here.
Yeah.
first.
And
Our old buddy Hythlodaeus is up there, though.
yeah.
Well, we don't realize that it's him, I don't think, do we? Not until
He
after.
says-
Yes.
We say it.
No, we say it.
Yeah.
Oh, we call him. He's
And
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, I don't think I've met you before.
Yeah.
And then we talk about.
yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Amarok.
Yeah. So we see, but then Xenos arrives to crash the party. And Fandaniel.
Doesn't he like fall in like a comet or something?
And Daniel's personality that he'd do something that's stupid.
It's like I broke the seal. Got pranked. I'm taking over.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Not part of the original plan, but whatever.
Well, yeah. And so Zodiac seals are unbroken, and you think to yourself, well, that's pretty bad, but surely something cool's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then you enter into the most disappointing fight, probably of the expansion. I would agree. I would argue.
Strongly disagree about that.
I wouldn't say that.
I don't know what you mean by that. What do you mean, like?
This is Zodiac.
Okay, in that
Yeah.
sense. Well, they justify
I
it by
thought
saying
that-
it is the incomplete Zodiac, so
Yeah.
you're not actually
That's-
fighting.
Yeah,
it.
but come on, man.
Yeah, I agree. So this is actually
I
something
thought that
I
this
agree with. But yeah, go
really
on,
set
Jeremy.
up the stakes of the expansion.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was weird that he was destroyed and then that was it. Like we're like, okay,
And then Fandaniel's again like, ha! Pranked again. That was my plan the entire time.
yeah,
Well,
I'm
let's
dying.
talk about the arc trial.
yeah. Let's talk about
It's
the
a-
trial. It's
It's a pretty easy normal mode. It's quite a
it
good
has
extreme.
a pretty cool mechanic with the where you have where this arena
The
turns.
spinning arena.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
think
it
it's
really
good,
shows
man.
how bad people are at geometry.
Yeah,
I think people have trouble rotating cubes in their mind.
yeah.
And I'm one of those people.
Because you have a lot to
Sometimes
think
I-
about too. Like there's a lot of other
Yeah.
shit happening, but
It's not even just the rotating cube or the rotating arena. It's also the meteors that come from
Yeah.
the sky.
yes,
And then people can't realize I need to flip that around
yeah,
and stand in the other places.
yeah. Yeah. So I think it's a
music's
good
good, too.
fight if you disconnected from like
It's a
why
good
you're
fight.
fighting it.
And I'll say the
Mm.
extreme is a thing of beauty and horror.
The way Zodiac is handled in the story, is the one thing that I am not entirely satisfied with because I feel
I mean,
like it was kind of
already killed him.
shoved under the rug as if like this is done now. Like okay,
Yeah.
11
He
years
was
and
kind
this
of
is
the
the
last
end.
boss in my mind.
Yeah,
From this arc, and it didn't happen.
Yeah,
He was
but-
the first boss.
it kind of you kind of forget that when the story moves on from this, like because there's
Yeah.
so much else happening. But it is sad that this was sort of how Zodiac ended. Well, but after you've destroyed him, there's this thing with Fandaniel where he's like, okay, I can finally fucking die, I guess. I hope, or maybe not.
But he's
And-
tipped the balance because
Yeah.
Zodiac was all about
Yes,
progress and life and growth, whereas Heidelin's all about stasis.
yes.
And now the balance has been shifted.
Well, we get this. So this was really cool because they make you. At least it made me, because you look at the planet, and then it just fucking rots, and then
Oh.
there's someone says like finally or something, like
I'm
there's this
free or
female
something.
voice saying that.
Yeah.
And
And
I'm like,
damn,
wait,
Heidelin was bad.
Is that Heidelin?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
That
oh my
was
god,
clever.
oh my god, she's bad. But of course
No,
we learn later that
Tom.
that is not her. That is
No.
someone we're gonna
Someone
talk
else.
about in.
Else.
Yeah, we're gonna
Part
talk more
two.
about her in part 2. But yeah, that's. But I like that they put that doubt in us because we have no idea who that other character is yet. So, yes.
So anyway, the moon's a spaceship.
The moon's a spaceship, by the way.
But not the spaceship from the title, which is very interesting because you're like, oh, the spaceship is going towards the moon,
Yeah.
right?
That is
In the
true.
in the thing,
But
and you're
is
like,
Yeah.
it?
but I'm already on the moon. There's no
Yeah.
spaceship.
Okay,
And the
there's something
Ragnarok's just
here.
right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Something here happens with Argos, and it bothers me now that I've thought about it.
Okay. What?
We can ride Argos.
Mhm.
We had to earn that
Mm-hmm.
in the past,
Yeah,
which we'll talk about later.
yeah,
Our future past.
yeah.
This motherfucker just lets Urianger, Y'shtola, and Thancred ride him without
That's true.
proving themselves.
That's true.
That is true.
That's true.
Maybe they're shards of people that Argos trusted.
That's a
Maybe.
Mm,
Or maybe he just trusts us that enough that he can take our friends. I don't know.
Yeah, that is a
Uh-huh.
good point.
Yeah, that's true.
If he trusts us enough, why didn't he trust Venara
Yeah,
enough to let
see,
us
I
ride?
agree. Yeah, that is flawed logic right there. I don't know. It's
Maybe because they
it's
never
one of
trusted
those-
Zem in the first place.
it's one of those things we're not supposed to think about.
I think
Okay.
this was the first point in the game where I was like overwhelmed with sort of disbelief in what the hell's going on.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. This
I was like, this
a
is too
weird,
much for me.
weird time because first of all, I'm like, oh my god, Zodiac was just destroyed, and then
And
is
the moon's actually a
Heidelin
spaceship.
bad? And then Bunny.
Yeah.
So many bunnies!
Uh,
like the
Loporates
bunnies.
were great. I liked the
I
Loporates.
love-
The
I
fact
love
that
them.
the moon is a spaceship, I
But for-
genuinely still can't get behind quite as much. but
and even Thancred's reaction is very good. Like he is literally the player at that point. He's like, okay,
This,
yeah,
this was such a fun series of just like comedic events, and it was really necessary after the really exhausting arc of Garlemald and before what's coming afterwards.
yeah. But also,
This is-
it reveals that you thought the moon was big. Well, here you go. Here's some fucking more massive area that you suddenly
Oh my
unlocked
God.
for you.
The
It-
moon feels like two separate zones.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. It's massive.
just
and
because the moon being a spaceship might be very Final Fantasy, it still was just a little bit. I mean, Heidelin is going to have no moons.
yeah,
She's gone from 2 to none.
yeah.
I was
How did the tides happen?
Okay, so this is also, we should probably mention the biggest reveal about the planet is that it's called Aetheris.
Yes.
The unsundered
The
world. is called
unsundered world
Aetheris.
is called Aetheris, and
But the Loporates apparently are not quite in
always-
tune with what's going on.
no, we still
I've always
refer
called
to it
it-
as Aetheris, even
Yeah,
in the
well,
end.
they have always called it Aetheris, and the
Yeah.
forum starts calling it Aetheris, so I guess
Yeah.
it's kind of the name of it now.
yeah.
No, I'm fine with that, but it's like, I guess the Loporates just don't.
So
care.
a lot. Okay, so we just talk about the fucking name
Well,
thing
they don't
because
know,
it's
Mela.
it's
No,
driving me mad.
Yeah,
So-
you mean bitch way and stupid way
Okay,
and fucking...
Before we
Pudding
before we
way.
talk about the ways, let's address the name of the planet because people keep asking, "Are we gonna change your name?" No, we're not gonna change our name.
Yes.
Also, for the
We're gonna be
common folk of
Soa.
the world, they will most likely be referring to it as Heidelin for a long time to come. Like that, the game literally introduces it as this is the intro of A Realm Reborn. This is what happens when you start the game for the very first time. Heidelin, a vibrant planet blessed by the light of the crystal. That is literally how it is introduced.
I'm just hoping that in 5. Well, I'm not hoping this. I'm feeling like in 6.1, some fucking nobody like bum on the street is going to start calling the planet Aetherius, and we'll just have to accept that.
At that point, we have to just be like, all right, Aetherius. But the thing is, it leaves like channels like ours in a bit of a pickle, because if we start referring to the planet as Aetherius like at all times, that's like a spoiler for people that are just joining the game. Because
thank God no one can join the game.
The planet is literally thank God. The planet is
true.
literally called Heidelin up until 6.0. So it's weird. So for
8 years worth of game. You know.
So for convenience sake, we are going to, after like all of this is over, I think we're going to refer to it as the source and Heidelin. And then if we have to, we'll...
Even the source is spoilery.
Yeah, I know. But
bit.
the source is like revealed in like Heaven's Word.
Aetherius if we slip.
But-
But
0.2.
Yeah. So...
But
Heidelin will remain its name. Also, we have never specified if we actually refer to... We've always left it kind of vague if we're referring to the planet or the entity. So maybe we are referring to, Vena.
the entity.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, the circle is
Our
supposed to
name
represent
does not
Heidelin, and
need
that's
to
blue.
change.
No. Okay. Anyways.
Change it.
Rabbits, spaceship. This is also where, if you didn't already think that, this is where it becomes clear to me that Charlian is, the one keeping them.
I like that they
touch.
don't tell you, and even at the point where they do tell you, they assume you figured it out.
Yes. Yes.
I like that they gave us that credit.
Yeah. So they've had these contacts on the ground that's been feeding them information about life on Aetherius, and they...
It's not exactly up to date.
No, it is not. Lots
It's big
of...
on the
Close.
scale.
like carrots.
Yeah, carrots. I loved the quest where you had to where they were dressing you. That was a fun
Yeah.
quest.
God.
That is some of the... And I like when you get the clothes too, it says, you have to wear these clothes to complete the quest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You will be shamed.
look at these ugly clothes.
Yes, that's right.
And I like when we all see each other, when all of our signs reconnect, it just says Scions ellipses.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is actually
Which
quite...
carrot did you pick?
Yellow carrot.
Ooh.
Blue carrot.
I think I just went for the one that looked normal, the orange one.
The orange carrot.
I'm not
I think I
fucking
went for
around.
the yellow carrot.
Yeah.
If you get the blue carrot, you get a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy reference, which pays off when you meet the ear at the end of the game as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
40.
Damn.
There was another Hitchhiker's Guides.
Yeah, the
to
40.
that
Yeah,
too.
there is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Roller.
Oh, no,
So
well, I got that.
if you pick, no, you always get that.
Yeah.
But if
Oh,
you
okay.
pick the blue carrot, it says you sense the meaning of life, and for some reason number 42,
Yeah.
and that answer is something you can say to the ear. So it feels like it pays off more if you choose
okay.
the blue carrot.
Okay, I see. All right.
You
Anyways,
also get a
It
status
also-
buff that says heightened intelligence or something like that
okay.
for 30 seconds, and it does nothing.
Okay, we can't stay too long in here. Rabbits, they're waking up out of fucking cryo sleep or
Fucking
whatever. But
Urianger,
yeah, Orion
Oh
Shay.
yeah,
telling
Orion has us
lies.
again.
They're just-
Yeah, he's being shady again. But it
then
turns
he's-
out
Can't help it. He can't
Yeah.
help it.
he's being
And
dragged
then
into
he's
shit.
like, "Oh, mine, I doth cannot pertain
Believe
to
it
be.
again.
Yeah.
He's
Once
just-
again, I have betrayed thee."
It's just, he's sad. He's like, hey, I know I've been doing it. I know.
Yeah.
But people keep making me.
Yeah.
I like this stealth mission because it's so infuriating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough.
And he knows you're following you. That you're following the entire
It's
time. So
Yeah.
what's the point?
pointless.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna suggest that we do questions from the syndicate tomorrow instead,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
because I think we are going to run over time by a little
yes.
bit, and we only have 10 minutes left for post show, so.
No,
Fair
yeah,
enough.
we'll just finish up what we were going to finish up.
Okay, so for syndicate, it also makes sense for us to read the questions from the syndicate tomorrow, because then we'll be done going through the MSQ. So because a lot of the questions will be
Yes.
All right. So the Loperate quests are very long. This is where I probably started feeling a little bit of padding, but even though I feel the padding, it didn't matter. I never felt bored, but I'm like, oh, they're padding right now because the story isn't really
Yes.
moving. But
I know a lot of people didn't like this, but I personally had no problem with this entire section of the game.
No,
I had no
I
problems
didn't
with it, but I
mind.
definitely could feel it being like just like a little bit of a dip. Like,
The
why am I still
Loperates
here?
wanted-
yeah.
The Loperates wanted to kidnap us.
Yeah.
They didn't want us to go back.
Yes. Yes.
I like the Loperates. They're cute. It's just I heard the same joke like 5 times in a row.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I get it. They don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You don't
right.
have to tell me.
They like
Yeah.
carrots because they're rabbits.
Yeah.
I like when they hum. It's cute.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can hum at them too, and you'll make the sound.
And then
Yeah.
they
And
say
they'll-
you're bad at humming.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a couple of points where I felt the padding. There was here, and it was in the second time we were in Thavnir when the end
Well, that's what
begins.
we're about to get
Yeah, we're
to.
about to get to that actually. Yeah. So we go back to old Charlian.
We're going to say, we know what you're up to.
Yeah, well, we know.
But they're about to reveal it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
that's-
is.
so essentially a waste of time.
Yeah,
up
they-
until now.
They released themselves from the spell that's prevented them from sharing any details, and then they just tell us.
Yeah.
Hydaelyn told
And people-
them that they're going.
Go into space.
People
Space.
believe it. People are just accepting.
Well,
it.
this is the scene with the cardboard people. This is
Yeah.
where I noticed it. And if you ever go back and look at that, I want you to see how much they tried to hide it, which I appreciate. They will weave like people that are moving in between them, so that it's harder to see it.
That's clever.
Yeah,
We should quickly mention Urianger stays on the moon with Loperates
Oh,
to,
yeah.
to
Yeah.
teach them
Yeah.
about Aetheris.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's our
He's a
backup
knight.
plan is to flee.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the current main plan.
Yeah. Yes.
But we're like, lol,
Yeah,
let us
'cause
try and fix the problem.
That's a thing that I was thinking about a lot. I'm like, ooh, it almost sounds in the beginning that we're like on board with the plan initially. Initially, they're like, oh yeah, we're believing Theris and we have to figure out how to do that. I'm like, I'm sorry, we're just
They
gonna
explicitly
leave.
tell you too. Is they're like, hey, if we leave, it's just the source. All the other shards will die.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
like, I don't know, but I like some of the people on the first. They're cool.
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And I knew that
But this
Tancred would
was
like
where
that.
I was thinking, because obviously at this point I was like, well, we can't be having Mericidia as the big, oh my god, I can't believe you would go that far, man.
Right.
Maybe we actually will change planet.
Yes,
Maybe.
for a little bit, I thought maybe there's gonna be, but it's gonna be a fake out. Obviously, we're not gonna actually
Yeah.
leave because in an MMO that doesn't
No,
work.
exactly.
But
No.
there's going to be some massive event where this
I thought
happens.
maybe the last zone would be the new planet.
Right.
And then we could expand out from there.
Yeah. Okay. We
I put this later. I think this is actually where the sign visits us in our bedroom.
Oh yeah, this is the. Oh yeah, but is it a?
I think so.
Well, we can talk about it either way. You get
Yeah.
to pick from like almost every scion.
This is
Yeah. You want to visit them.
unfortunately one of those things that you can't do again in the quest. But
You can do it again.
oh, you can in the quest while
It's
you're
in,
not.
well, no, not in the quest, but it's in the unending journey.
Oh
You
yeah,
can do
yeah.
this as many times
You,
as
you
you
can
want.
do it in the
Yeah.
unending journal. Okay.
But only once.
So-
But
Graha.
in the MSQ, you can only do it once.
Hmm.
yeah.
So, who is canon in yours? Graha.
Thancred. Rollo? Rollo went Yustola, I think, right?
Yustola, yes. And she
So-
says some nice things. She's like, I always worry about you. And I'm like,
I was.
I think they all have the same dialogue for the most part.
No, they don't.
No.
Oh, is it
No,
that
because
different? Okay.
Thancred talked about
It's quite
rain.
different, yeah.
I was so worried. I thought Thancred was going to die this expansion, and I was constantly worried. Thancred was my guide when I came back to A Realm Reborn because I had to start in Ul'dah, so he became sort of my guy there. But I also it was really sad because I'm like, I can't do this again, and I want Y'shtola too because she was my 1.0 guide.
Yeah.
Like I have 2 people that I have been with for a long time, so I definitely have to go back and watch the Y'shtola one then.
If I didn't pick Graha, I would have picked Y'shtola because she was my initial guide at the start of the story as well.
Yeah.
I'd have probably gone Thancred for that reason, I guess.
Yeah.
If you pick Estinian, he leaves by walking into your room and jumping out the window.
Nice.
Can we talk about how weird Estinian is, but like in a good way? Because for a long time...
He's socially inept, Rollo.
Yes, like I know in Heavens where we're hanging with him, he's like a bit more brooding, sort of, and like awkward. But God, they turn up to 11. He's like, this guy can barely talk to anybody. He tries to look cool and deep, and this dude can't talk to anyone.
Well, that's why
I feel
he
like
tries
he came
to look
out of his
cool
shell.
and deep.
Yeah. I saw in chat, very sad, by the way, going by my logic, like saying goodbye to your guides. Sorry for the people that started in Gridania. One is dead and one is fake and not available. So
I'm also
interesting.
sorry to the people that would have wanted to pick Urianger, but he can't because he's on the moon.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Anyways, we then move to Thavnir and Radzat Han.
Yeah, we hear. Oh, the final day is happening.
Yeah.
Starting in Thavnir.
Kind of important.
Nice good coincidence. Happened somewhere new, not somewhere we've been before.
Right.
Got a little bit of a link pearl going on there. We. Final days.
So
come quick.
We learn now things are going to move quite fast at this point because a lot of information becomes available to us here. People are turning.
Well, the first thing we do is it's starting in Vanished Sparti mostly.
Oh yeah, true. Yes.
So that's where we go first. So we actually start with the dungeon on our second visit here.
True. Yes, we go through the dungeon.
So what did you think of this dungeon?
Sad seeing dead Matanga. I don't ever want to see that.
Did you have seen the entire family?
Yeah, the family.
To Terminus beasts.
Awful.
I have a chuckle when that happens. Yeah.
I spam the dungeon a lot because I really like the gear in there. Like all the gear sets look really nice.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, the casting and healing set from that dungeon is beautiful.
I love the set. It's just such, and then the pauldrons on the tank. And maiming set. It's nice. But the sorry, go ahead.
No, you go first.
Hello.
When I was spamming a lot, I did with a lot of new players too. And most of the time they're like, what the fuck? This family just got killed.
Yeah.
Like they all have these reactions. I'm like, oh no, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Yergi?
I like that the dungeon music plays throughout Thavnir during this part of the story.
That was clever.
Yeah, yeah.
What did you think of the bosses here? I like the first one with the mouths on the ground.
Oh, the mouths on the ground,
was
horrible.
So weird because it was like some 90s gif from some weird part of the internet.
Horrible things to you. It speaks bad words.
Yeah, it does. And
he wasn't that hard though, and he almost only ever does what is right during that.
That's
phase.
true.
It's so easy to find out where.
He actually has what is right and what is left.
Yeah,
he does, but
both
he almost
work as
does
good
what
names
is
for
left.
skills.
Yeah,
often when there's no mouths on the ground, from what I've seen, I've spammed it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Second boss was that had an elephant's snout.
Oh yeah,
I fucking hate it so much.
It's so gross.
It's like a split up elephant head. Disgusting.
I don't think this boss was very hard because I don't remember any mechanics from it.
It had just one mechanic really, which was
it had it had the water bubbles.
Oh yeah, it has the bubbles,
it was
doesn't
fire,
it?
and sometimes it was pushback.
like the tomb or whatever its name is from frickin' what's it called? The island. Everyone's favorite dungeon.
Hullbreaker?
Hullbreaker
Isle normal,
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That boss was okay.
Final boss is cool.
Final boss was meteors at us.
Mm-hmm.
The big dragon.
I wish I did that a bit more.
Yeah.
Very funny when I'm doing it, and then someone's trying to get knocked back into it, you know?
Yeah.
Or they're not
yeah,
getting
the
knocked.
two
Sorry,
colour things.
they do the anti-knockback thing, but they stand at the very edge.
Yeah.
And they stand behind me,
Mhm.
and I don't use the anti-knockback, and then we both just die
Yeah.
because the puddles just fall on both of us. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
why would you do that?
I've not had much issues with it, but it's a good dungeon.
Yeah.
Easy to spam. It's quite quick.
So it is at this point we make it to Radzat Han. We immediately launch like an investigation into like figuring out what's causing this, because
Yes.
we're starting to see some sort of pattern, but we're not entirely sure what it is. So we do this is where I felt there was a little bit of or is it right after this? I can't remember. It is definitely in this. Oh yeah, this is There's a little bit of padding here. Because to me it became very clear very quickly what's happening, but they're pulling it out quite a lot. But yeah, it all started with like this merchant guy.
We met at the start of the game.
Yeah, that
Bad merchant man.
which you kind of
He's not a bad merchant man. He was supposed to be a good merchant man, but he was falling into this.
Merchant.
he was
sad. Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
he was sad.
This was Matt's
He was. I mean, going by the description, he was depressed. He was struggling, and we're sort of realizing that that's what's causing this. It's
despair.
Yeah, and it's scary because their ether is literally being like dissolved. Like they're nothing.
Yeah.
They don't get to go to the live stream.
They don't go back to the live stream. So that's very scary. Yeah, that's how the planet's gonna die.
Thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So you can't have like these big emotions. This is perhaps the most shocking scene that then follows is when we go to the we're going to the satrap.
And he makes the announcement that like we mustn't despair.
Right.
Because that's
what about my son? I would be very despaired if I found out he was dead.
And we talk about the old woman. She has old woman face, but the body of a 20-year-old. I just find that really funny.
Every old person in this game, except Montoya, has the body of a 20-year-old.
Yeah. So our Fisher friend comes running up, and he's like, "Oh no!" Yeah. Yeah, go on.
I know Matsu's here, but I don't want to ignore that we see a child turn and get squashed.
Well, we do get.
That happens at this scene.
Yeah, it happens in this scene. But
I was like, oh my god.
The guy who triggers this is Matsuya. He comes running in and this is like, I went to that village that old lady is so worried about, and I think everyone's fucking dead. And she's like, my son! And just chaos ensues.
They should have played the cork pop like they did in Whirl It.
You know what this reminds me of is the fucking Persona 4 shit where everyone's leading up to the that's not me, you're not me, and everyone says like, please just shut up, don't say the thing.
Yeah, and it's just mayhem. People turn left and right, and there's
shocked. I have to say about the child, I am shocked that the child's father does not immediately turn after seeing his son turn and get squashed.
Yes.
Less food needed.
He has to be one of the most strongly resolved people in the world.
Yeah. Well,
the thing is about the squishing too. It's like fucking Mario 64 getting like squished.
Yeah, it is. I kind of giggled a little when that happened because it was so shocking and so comedic at the same time. I'm like, he just turned into a monster and there's splat. I think the father didn't react immediately because if you're the father of a child that just turns into a monster and is then immediately squished, there might take a few moments for your body and your brain to be like, that happened. Okay, why do we react to this? So yeah, it's.
And then he does react. You're like,
he does.
No, don't react.
Yeah.
That's bad.
And we get him to not react somehow.
Also, when the satrap gets picked up, we are very clearly in range to make it in time, but we are running in the slowest manner possible because we are
gets his
nowhere
head
near
bitten off.
that. Yeah, he just
But his whole body gets eaten.
he gets
Yes, much.
bored.
It was brutal. I was like, no, I like the soft trap. I thought he was gonna be a cool guy.
Yeah,
I liked
Yeah.
him as well.
yeah.
But
I
then
personally thought he was too ugly to be a leader of a nation.
Oh, that's
I
not
think you got
nice.
some issues you gotta work out.
Yeah,
Georgi.
I
That's
think
fucked up.
Georgi has some issues. Georgi genuinely doesn't like characters that are ugly. Like, like there's a person in the
Healer role
the
quest.
healer role quest that is just not as attractive, and Georgi says he's the most horrible person in the whole game,
Is.
He's just a
and he
nice
doesn't
man.
like him because he is ugly.
Yogi.
But no, is it not the case that every leader of the nations is at least in someone's eyes attractive?
Melwib has sideburns, to be fair.
Yeah,
But
That is
she
kinda
has
sexy,
big
though.
booba.
Well, that's true. Yeah, she does.
that is true.
Georgi, I'll let you in on a little secret. The tank quest has a couple of good lookers for you as well. So when you get round
I'll
to
look
that.
forward
There you
to
go.
that then.
So you'll love them. So Satrap dies, which I kind of I also saw. I didn't see that coming, but I knew he was going to leave at because Vritra's storyline felt like his next step would be to become the Satrap, and at some point he would either step off or die.
And the Satrap does request that, like, hey, you should revere yourself because it's the end of days right now, and the people could really use the morality
Yeah.
boost. He's like, no.
Yeah.
It's like no,
No.
watching
No.
Twitch.
You are my fucking kingling thing. You do what I
You
say.
think they would respect a big scary dragon?
No.
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 No, but then
Okay.
he does.
Yeah. So
honor
Thavnir
him.
is thrown into chaos. Sorry, Radzat-Han. Thavnir as
Graha
well.
steps fucking up once the Satrap
Oh.
dies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he has a moment
That
there.
Kristarim experience, He's
Yeah.
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 a good leader.
Um
And so we head off to Parata's Peace to see what's going on there with
Yeah.
Matsia.
yeah.
not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot. There's a whole this story with his friend that he needs to find because
His friends.
his friends. Yeah. There's specifically
man,
a
a
couple.
woman, and a baby.
Yeah. There's some woman and a baby and her husband. We find the husband first, I believe, and he dies.
Nice and eaten.
He
Yeah,
dies,
nice and
which
dead
is.
already.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I thought we were like, okay, you rest here.
Yeah. I
And
thought
we'll
so
go
too.
and find. And then I interacted with him, and it's like his body lies still and kind of.
Yeah.
What did you do when you had the option to whisper? What did you say? It's like there were two options. You could either tell him talk to him, or just leave him. Is
I
that
think
the
I
option?
talked to him because I
Yeah, I
thought it
talked
would
to him
make
too.
keep him active.
Because I wanted to
and he
keep
wouldn't
him.
die.
Yeah. Same.
I was sad
And then
he
he
died.
died, and I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah.
quite sad
Yeah.
actually.
What
He
a-
just
honestly,
what
died.
a
Both
gruesome
of these
stuff.
deaths surprised me. So we find some other people that were hiding from all of the Terminus beasts. That's nice.
Yeah.
Matsia tells them this prayer that is apparently that helps him through despair.
Yeah.
That is important to their people.
Yeah.
So we then go looking for the wife and the child. The wife get fucking grabbed by the head
Oh.
and thrown into the water,
And she's
Ragdoll.
dead.
Instantly killing her.
and she's dead.
And there's
I
a
thought when we
baby.
dived in, she would be alive.
And there's a fucking baby now at the bottom of the pool.
Baby's drowning.
And I'm like, oh my god, this is fucked.
Even like a second of a baby drowning. Is
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Jesus Christ. So
Yeah,
the
that
baby
was
lives,
brutal.
They
and-
make
but-
babies strong in Thavnir.
but then because
They
we've
damn well
seen
do.
so much dark shit. When we gave the baby to
Matsia to
Matsia.
escape while we fought off the things.
and he starts to fucking turn, I'm like, he's gonna turn and eat the baby.
Oh,
no.
For a second, I thought he's gonna turn and eat the baby.
but the fact that he didn't.
the
I
fact-
was so proud.
I'm
of
like,
him.
oh.
The baby was turning though too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even
the
the
baby
baby.
starts to
Even the
despair.
baby.
I'm
Yeah.
like, how's the baby experiencing despair?
Well, it was just at the bottom of a pool, and it's now being carried by an
He's
elephant.
dying.
So I
He's like a month old and he's already dying. I think
Yeah.
he would despair.
yeah.
busy shit in my pants. Be despair.
Then they're saved by Vritra and Estinian coming on down.
Yes.
Devour his come, Vitra.
I'm so glad I recorded that part of my playthrough because up until that point, every time he was near Ritra, I was like, Devour his come. And I'm like, Estinian, I think it's time to devour his cum. I wouldn't even make any cool, like, try to make it blend. I'm like, devour his cum. Devour his cum. And then he's like on the back, it's like, Ritra. And I'm like, it's happening. Devour his cum. And I'm like, oh! He said it! Finally, the release.
It does show that a lot of stuff in the like CGI trailer sort of did happen.
Yeah.
Except for the twin stuff.
Yeah.
With Graha.
They pulled they tricked us into thinking that Lenosha was gonna be on fire, which
and the Sankridarianjai thing is the only thing that I'm pretty sure happened before the expansion.
Yeah. Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah.
No, it can't. It can't have.
No.
It can't have happened before the expansion because they needed to use the fucking experimental etherite to get there.
True.
So that wasn't the line in the trailer.
That never
the
happened.
Final days have come.
You have to remember that the trailer
It never happened.
The trailer is made long before MSQ is finalized. So when they
was alone in the trailer, but she was with us.
When they say the things, they say it just to reference the trailer, so we can have that moment. Be like,
true.
Insert, Leonardo DiCaprio pointing GIF because it's
the thing. And then when Graha does the same exact animation from the trailer,
yeah.
And it's like,
So anyways, so Ritra has revealed Ritra devours it and reveals that he is the Satrap, and people are like, oh,
I've always been the Satrap.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's cool.
And then the little kids are like, wow.
No, there's a little bit
like, ooh, it's a bit scary, but the kids are like, cool. Dragons are cool.
What a dragon.
Right after that, Fortunal and the Forum appears and
just walks in.
We have come to save you.
We've got this big spaceship.
We have a big spaceship.
And the planet's dying.
Guys, I swear, guys, the moon is a big spaceship and there's bunnies and there's carrots.
And once again, people accept this.
and the wise dragon went, very good. We shall discuss. Yay!
Consider what Midgard Sormer has probably told his children about space.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he will know that. But come on, dude. Hi, I'm from Charlene. So we've got a spaceship.
Right.
We're gonna fly away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. To be fair, Fortunal doesn't know that they're bunnies yet. Also,
no,
that's a revelation for later. Okay. So that's where that chapter closes off. So that's the end of part 1.
We were going at this point.
Because
where we actually go is out of nowhere.
Yes, it sure is.
You know what? Someone fucking spoiled it for me.
No.
Because the gear you get from that zone is like, I feel like that's massive spoilers. I just saw an old doll like right before I went. I was like, oh, okay. So we're going
I always removed it before I left the zone to do anything.
That's what I did too. And I was like, I should be polite and not
I
wear
never
this gear.
even wore it. So I was, because I'm like, I'm going to spoil it just by just being me. So I'll just accidentally teleport somewhere and someone will see it. Also, I before I went in there, I knew that there was spoiler gear afoot. So I was like, I didn't look at anyone. Whenever I was in a public area, I was like, just work. But yeah, so yeah. I didn't know what was happening. I was very confused actually at this point in the story because I'm like, okay, final days are happening. They also show, by the way, didn't talk about that, but there's a cutscene showing Ishgard and Alamigo, like
this
people.
Is where we unlock the role quests.
Yeah, that shit. It's just a tease for that, but you start seeing that happening, and you're like, oh my god. Is this gonna spread all over? And you kind of think so because of the trailer, which shows Lenosha in flames.
It's like, no, Euless, we just taught you to be cool. Now you're not gonna be cool.
Yeah. So I thought we were just gonna do moon stuff, but I was very confused because it didn't make sense because I knew there was another zone, and I have no idea what the fuck that would be.
Because I knew we had to be going to that because they showed us the concept art of that cloudy of the sky islands.
Yeah,
and I was like, that has not been even
No.
alluded to at this point.
Mm.
No.
Are we getting there?
No.
Because like we can't be going to the mysterious sixth zone, and because of like Fate spoilers, I knew that Labyrinthos, the second visit, had to be later. It couldn't be now.
Yeah.
So I just absolutely had no idea where we were going.
No.
I thought maybe we would fail in our quest,
Mm-hmm.
and we would take the moon somewhere, because I couldn't think what
Yeah,
else we would.
really, that was the only logical, like one of the only logical conclusions I could make at that point. I'm like, oh, so the moon, so the floating
It's
island
like,
moon.
where would you even start to prevent the final days? 'Cause,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. It was weird. Like I had, it's again having like some of the pieces, and then they just don't fit at that point because there's something they haven't given us. So
And I was just at this point, I was just like, "Come on, Heidelin,
yeah,
tell us something."
yeah. Okay, so what are our thoughts, like just in general, about the like? We can't talk about it as a whole, but
No, so
yet.
far,
in the expansion, not just thinking about where it's going next. How did you feel about the quality of the? How did you feel about the length at this point?
boy, what
very
an
long.
expansion! I'm glad we're done.
Yeah, right.
I was
Jesus.
happy with it. I was loving every
Mhm.
second of it, even though
Yeah.
there were dips for me. Like the first major dip,
Yeah.
for me personally, was the fact that the moon is a space rocket. I really thought it was a bit too much, but
Yeah.
other than
I
that, I
went
was
with
really
it.
happy.
Yeah. I
I
just
love
decided
decided to
Garlemald, I
fuck it.
I
loved
couldn't mix it.
Yeah.
Savnair and Labyrinthos, and I was intrigued by what the future might hold. So
I
yeah, I
think-
was good at this point.
Yeah.
I think Thavnair is the zone I was least interested in overall,
Mm-hmm.
lore-wise and like story-wise.
Probably the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
I liked it lots, and I actually really wanted to do a lot of the side quests. Like
Yeah.
usually I'm like,
Mhm.
I'll do some of the side quests, but like even just some of the smaller ones, I'm like, oh, okay, there's some interesting tidbits here and there, especially in the fifth zone. There's all the side
Mhm.
quests I want to do. I'm like, I want to talk to
so
you. I
excited
wanna
to
talk
do
you.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, because once I hit 90, I did all the unlock quests for flying, and
Yeah.
every single one of them pretty much was like an intriguing story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on a DPS class, I'm gonna do all.
Thavnair quests are very good, but
But
yeah. Yeah, go on.
Garlemald's amazing, and it could very well have been the final zone in a theoretical mid-expansion between what we got here and Shadowbringers.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
And yet
I
it
think-
somehow plays into the themes of despair.
Yeah.
Even before
Mhm.
we knew that was really the theme of the expansion.
True.
They really played, or they really managed to do the everything's here. I mean, they were actually doing it, and I was like,
Yeah.
I said they were going to do it. I'm like, yeah, they're probably going to do everything.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect them to actually go through with it, and just almost every major character that could be there has been involved in some fashion almost.
Yeah.
Or they reference whatever you've done. Like, even Alizé won't call you the Warrior of Light in some scenes. If you've done
Right.
the Coil quest, she'll call you like the Sword or something like that. I forgot what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
Because for the Coil stuff, so I was like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's all here.
Yeah.
Big shoes to fill, and they were filling them with
Yeah.
lots of shoe filling stuff.
A little bit of
Feet.
what? Go on, Mela.
Your favorite?
No, just feet.
Oh, you just said
Sam.
I'm
feet.
just making
You
a joke at
oh,
Rollo's
I see. Feet.
expense.
I see. Yeah, I can't really. I think we've said it many times. MSQ was fucking massive, and the fact that we are now at the end of part 1 and looking at all the shit has still to, like, even though there are only really 2 more worlds left,
It's a lot.
it's a lot.
Heck of a lot.
It's a lot. A lot happens in the final act of this story, and it was kind of even. It's the first time in an expansion where I have felt the pressure to finish the MSQ because of this podcast. It's like I have to at least finish it. I have to be done by the spoiler cast, and not knowing how much was left. It's like, okay, every time I thought, okay, this is probably where we're gonna conclude, but then there's just boom, there's more. There's another chapter that you need to do, and I'm like, oh god, probably done now. Oh no, I'm level 88. Yeah, so yeah, it's good.
This is
Definitely-
probably the most like into it I've ever gone with and it, like think about Stormblood. I got so annoyed at Rabon, and even Shadowbringers, which I enjoyed for the whole thing, pretty much.
Yeah.
I took my time a bit more. This one, I loved it.
Yeah, it was
Just couldn't stop playing.
fantastic. Masterpiece.
Chat brought this up earlier, and it's a point I agree with.
Yeah, go on. Jürgen.
The zones in this expansion are all over the place. Like they're not
Yes.
connected at all,
Right.
really.
Mhm.
The only ones that are connected are Labyrinth, Old Charlian, and then Razat Hands and Thavnir. But compared to Stormblood,
Oh,
Yeah.
that was
it
just three
works
of the
so
thing, wasn't
much
it?
better
Yeah.
in terms of like, even though it's like like traveling expansion and space traveling expansion, it works so much better.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
I agree.
God, and you know what? You feel that distance with the teleport fees.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to buy those tickets now for the first time.
I'm eating through those tickets.
Yeah.
I bought a stack, and I have like 10
Yeah.
left.
Yeah. Also, I see chat mentioning that we were warned that it was going to be bigger than Shadowbringers. Didn't expect this much.
No.
No,
I like that it's long. I think it's fine.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how normal people are gonna finish this with like a 9 to 5.
No, no. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna save this for part 2, but Endwalker, probably the best expansion this game has ever had. But that's
it had a big task.
Yeah.
Shadowbringers gets the benefit of allowing itself to be a standalone story. Endwalker has to wrap up an arc. It
Yeah.
can't tell a standalone story.
Right.
It has to address everything that has been addressed up to this point.
yeah. Yeah.
And we will talk about it tomorrow. But they
Tomorrow.
pretty much did it.
Tomorrow we will conclude our spoiler cast, but that is the end. We did surprise XL episode, just like the MSQ. You didn't think it would be this long. There you go. It's longer
But
than
there
you
you
think.
Next time we're gonna take you to the past and play
Yeah.
some games in the past.
Okay.
Okay.
It's suck-ass.
That's the end of the episode, everyone. Thank you for watching. Remember to follow on Twitter at SpeakersXIV, twitch.tv/SpeakersOfIreland, YouTube.com/SpeakersXIV, Discord in chat if you want to join our Discord server. If you're watching on demand, link is in the description. Remember to send us Mogmail. Mogmail's in a bit of a pickle right now. We might not read them actually until... Oh, that probably won't be read until next year. I'm sorry. Which sounds worse than it is. It's just in 2 weeks. But you can still send us Mogmail. SpeakersXIV.com/Mogmail. We'll be back tomorrow. That is regular stream time. So that's 7 p.m. Central European time, 6 p.m. GMT, 1 p.m. ET. So make sure you catch us then. And we'll see you then. Goodbye.
Bye.